probably 6'5". Got a very
The Hat Man?
pointed. Looks like a man, very thin, probably 6'5". Got a very pointed nose, no arms or legs. It moves so smoothly. If it's totally pitch black, you can clearly see it. It's blacker than black. That's the thing that drops the temperature.
What are you planning for future? Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Dead, I don't know.
Oh.
Everybody's like 2 paychecks away from being homeless.
Every tunnel has its own identity, depending on who lives in it.
You can see a lot of needles here. Disgusting. Obviously.
Where was I where I was thinking about that? I always wonder how in certain areas that have such high costs of living, how people make ends meet that have regular jobs, you know? Like being a barista in Los Angeles. Like, do you live outside of LA and then you like commute in? Like, how do you make enough money even with roommates? How do you live in like New York City as just somebody that's, you know, fucking, I guess, working 35, 40 hours a week at like a regular, you know, 9 to 5? A lot of side hustles. That's what I'm thinking. Lots of roommates, lots of side hustles. You're kind of living on the outskirts of the city. It's like, fuck, dude. Multiple jobs, good budgeting. Yeah, it has to be. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why if you're somebody in New York City, you're living in a shoebox apartment that you're sharing with somebody with a shared bathroom. You're working a minimum wage job. You're not working 40 hours a week. You're working 70, you know, to be able to fucking make enough money. And you're never even home. That's like, we watched one video about, I mean, this is just different New York City versus Vegas. It's probably very similar in Vegas, but it's like, we watched the one video about one of the smallest apartments in New York City, and the person they were interviewing was like, I just need somewhere to crash. You know, they're never home because they're always working. If they ever have free time or money, they're not going to stay at their apartment. They're just going to go spend it elsewhere. So it's like, they're literally just paying fucking thousands of dollars a month to just fucking have somewhere to fall asleep for 8 hours and get back up.
Life.
Do you have contacts of your family?
Somewhat.
What do they think that you're doing right now?
They don't ask.
What did you do before you came to these tunnels?
Before I was in this situation, I was a family man. 2 boys, 1 girl. They still live out here. My son just turned 17 last month.
When is the last time did you see them?
10 years ago.
Oh. What is the
He hasn't seen his son since he was 7.
worst thing that happened to you in these tunnels?
Somebody died right where we were standing last night.
Last night?
Last night.
Oh.
OD. Life is precious. And short.
Nearly 7 out of 10 Americans live paycheck to paycheck, barely making ends meet. For many, it takes just one unexpected event to lose their financial stability.
Oh my God. We were in the tunnels and you can see the Caesar's Palace on that side. This is a drama. If you want to shine a light into these tunnels, consider donating to the Shine a Light Foundation. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more documentaries like this. Huge thanks to MyHeritage for sponsoring.
Oh my gosh, man. That was a sad fucking video, bro. Dystopian, really scary, this society we live in. Yeah, bro. But let's give tax breaks to people that make fucking $100 million a year. What a fucking great idea that is. Oh, 7 out of 10 Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Why don't we vote for people that fucking, sorry, I'm not trying to make it political. It's just fucking insane, man. Like CEOs. And this is coming from somebody, I make good money, right? Like I should get taxed more. I should get taxed more. I'm not going to sit here and argue that I need to make more money. Is it annoying that I have to fucking pay a lot in taxes? Yeah, but it's like, I'm the guy to pay it. Why the fuck are we sitting here going, oh yeah, actually, why don't we give more people, why don't we make Elon Musk a trillionaire? What a great idea. That'll solve society. The trickle-down effect. The trickle-down effect. Once Elon Musk has $1 trillion, he'll start handing it out to everybody else. We'll start handing it out. Eventually, yeah, that's what's gonna fix it. Once he gets $1,000 billion, then that money will start getting redistributed to the average American. Fucking hell, man. Like, there are billionaires that do donate a shitload of money. I'm pretty sure Jeff Bezos' wife gave billions of dollars away. I know the Bill Gates family, or the Gates family, does a lot of stuff. But, like, fuck, man. Only political take for today. I believe no one should be a billionaire. I think that you could reach $999 million, and after that, it is a hard cap. You've won at life. You should not. You can work. You can't own a business anymore. Shit's got. Maybe you could be like a supervisor. You should not be able to get more money. Your net worth should be capped at $999 million. And that's a lot of fucking money. Next video. When rebranding fails, Kai Cenat.
Some say rebranding as a content creator, artist, or creative anything is a make or break in a lot of people's careers. You can have good creator rebrands, like Speed going from a kid yelling slurs in his mom's basement at 3 a.m. and doing voodoo rituals, or whatever you call this. Genuinely, we gotta ask.
Wow, Speed's fucking, like, content arc is crazy, because now he does, like, very, like, cultural, like, showcasings of, like, the world. And he used to, like, light off fireworks in his bedroom.
What the f was wrong with Speed in 2021? To now becoming one of the biggest live streamers in the world and breaking generations of propaganda from the media. But then you also have creators on the opposite side of rebranding, like Sneeko. Turning from a person who used to be labeled one of the most creative YouTubers on this platform for his unique style of videos, to now having to hang out with the sinister six of streaming and appealing to racists because that's how much his audience has got diluted. Either have a sand machine grounding your ball sack for 5 minutes, or have your sister in a room with these guys for 5 minutes.
Well, I think the appeal of the content change for the hard right audience is a similar content change that comedians make to religious comedy and Christian comedy. It lowers your audience threshold, but it increases the dedicated audience that you have. Does that make sense? So I don't even know if a lot of, like, hard right-wing creators believe what they say, but it basically guarantees the fact that you're going to have an audience. Even if it is smaller, it guarantees that you have that audience. It's the same thing with Christian comedy. Like, if you're a comedian and then you pivot to Christian comedy, like, you lose a wider audience, but you gain a more dedicated, smaller fan base. And so that's, like, the path that a lot of them go. And they're a lot more hardcore fans, right? It's a very weird pivot that a lot of people make, but I mean, you see people make it pretty quickly, not pretty quickly, pretty often, if that makes sense. I used to be far right wing. Thank God I'm not anymore. I mean, I'm not judging, like, political viewpoints, but I just think, like, I am. It's like, well, I mean, it's not. It's a mixture. It's not. I have nothing wrong with conservative content creators. But the purpose of making hard right content is to appeal to a smaller net fan base that just fucks with you. That's what it is, right? Like, I think when you make, like, liberal, if you just make content and you have liberal views, you're not making liberal content all the time. Like, I have liberal views. I don't air them out every day. But if you are a hard right content creator, a lot of the content that you have to make revolves around that. There's the same that could be said around left-wing creators, right? Like, Hassan is a very left-wing creator. Hassan's content is all politically motivated. But I think, like, if you're in that, like, kick rumble space, there's, like, 90% of your content has to be around politics.
Personally, I'm sorry for my offspring, but y'all can no longer be born. Sometimes these rebrands come...
There are, like, exceptions to that, but I'm saying a lot of it is, like, BP right wing, like, it's their job to appeal to that audience.
Naturally, though, and I think those are always the best types. Just like how I mentioned Speed earlier, most of his rebranding came...
Do you still like your chatters aren't liberals? I don't have a problem with conservatism. I have a problem with when people just refuse to... Like, with the current ICE shit, when people are like, well, that lady shouldn't have tried to drive away. I'm like, dude, he shot her in the chest, like, fucking 3 times. I'm like, he killed her, right? Like, now it's just, like, just being an ass to be an ass, right? There's, like, a difference between having, like, financially, fiscally conservative views or, like, some socially conservative views or religious views to, like, literally just not giving a fuck about the fact that, like, somebody got murdered, right?
Came from him maturing from being a
Like, there's a difference there.
teenager that grew up on the internet and watching edgy creators, then actually went out in the real world and saw real people. There's a reason why the most edgiest creators on
And I know that'll piss people off, but, like, I gotta say, I don't know why people immediately get agitated when the creator they watch doesn't have the same views as them. Like, it's very narrow-minded to assume that the creator that you watch is just going to agree with what you think, right? Because you like their content. Like, that's just not going to be the case, right? One way or the other, right? There's going to be people that are liberal that watch conservative content creators that get annoyed when they have those views, right? For me, I'm liberal. People get annoyed when they find out I'm not conservative. It's usually assumptive that I'm conservative because I'm a straight white man, and so they look at me and they just assume I'm like a Chad of sorts. But it's like, I don't know. Holy PR? It's not PR, man. It's not PR. So many people say that, man. So many people are like, Joe's liberal for PR. Brother, I went to college for philosophy. I'm very attuned to atheism. I'm basically on the cusp of absurdist nihilism. I don't believe in God, right? If you just took my viewpoints, that would religion. It's like I feel like it's not PR, man. Like, I think there's nothing after death, man. I think that's like, it's just obvious that I would probably be somewhat socially left-leaning, you know? Like, even without, like, PR in the picture, it's just like atheism. Atheist, probably not conservative. Like, most of I mean, that's like, it's a true thing where if you take somebody's sex, income, religious perspective, how often they go to church or their synagogue or whatever place of worship is, like, you can factor in what they'll probably be, right, politically. Like, I'm not liberal for PR. I'm not actually liberal. I'm a social democrat, right, is how I would perceive my own views. Nobody knows what that means, though, so I just say I'm a liberal. But it's, like, a little different. It depends on the topic, though, right? I could have a take that's more middle-grounded. But, like, the majority of the time, I would say I fall into a more liberal way of thinking. Like, I don't believe in God. I'm not religious. I have no problem with gay marriage. I support the LGBTQ, right? So all of these things kind of coincide with, like, my base philosophical beliefs. So it's not something for PR. It's just that's what I think. And that upsets people. Abortion, I support abortion. Oh, God, that really upsets people. Yep, I know. Also, not PR. That's just, I don't see a problem with abortion. Third trimester is a different conversation, right, where you're about to have the kid. But to say that, you know, and I'm not saying this to just get dubs. Like, you could say L. Joe. I don't give a fuck, right? You could disagree with me. But, like, I'm not being liberal for PR. There's an equal, and to say I'm being liberal for PR is like, dude, the majority, not majority, you know how many men in the younger Gen Z era are conservative? The majority of my audience is men. So many people that watch me are conservative. It's equally appealing for me to be either for PR, right? I could pivot either way. Like, it's not a PR stance.
platform. Most of
Can we move on from that?
their audience is teenagers because that's when you're the most on the internet, that grew up on the internet and watching edgy creators, then actually went out in the real world and saw real people. There's a reason why the most edgiest creators on any platform, most of their audience is teenagers because that's when you're the most on the internet and
Joe ... is very obvious the majority of your audience is liberal. Yeah, because a lot of people stopped watching me when I shared political views. You know the amount of people that unfollowed me, like, way back when I said that I supported Palestine? Like, I mean, now I think both sides really are against Israel, but, like, early, like, years ago, right, not years ago, like a year and a half ago, when I said that I supported Palestine, the amount of people that were like, I fucking hate you. Okay, don't watch me. It's not a PR thing, dude. I've gotten fucking death threats for my views. On either side, that's gonna happen.
just like how I mentioned Speed earlier, most of his rebranding came from him maturing from
People that are in District 1, District 2, District 3 are training for themselves, okay? They're training on how can I survive. Yes, they're still going to carry over the capabilities they have as an individual to kill, right? Just like an MMA fighter would still be really good in hand-to-hand combat, but they're going to get the ball dropped on them 3 days before, right? they're not going to know that this is lifelink until like right when the event starts. Now, yes, the higher district people are probably still going to be at an advantage like they already would be. You can't really get rid of that because both players in each district are going to be probably pretty well trained, but it evens the playing field a little bit, right? Not to the point where, you know, it's full even, but it helps somewhat. If my lifelink partner dies, how would I die? Would I just get murdered? No, they would implant a device into your heart or next, kind of like a pacemaker, but like one that would kill you instead of keep you alive. So it would have a device that reads your heartbeat and your heart rate, and if it stops reading your heart rate, it gives you a heart attack. So you would just die on the spot. And I also want to say you can't do some baddie or whatever fucking bullshit. You can't be a coder and hack it, okay? It's going to be bulletproof, right? This is a device that can't be changed. It is linked to your heart. There's no way around it. If you're really good at wiring, you can't fucking pull it out of your chest and fucking save yourself, all right? That's loser shit. I'm going to say that right now. I don't know how we would do that, but we'd figure it out. Moving on. New attack strategies. I think I found some good images here from For Honor and Assassin's Creed, I think is the bottom one. You basically need to reformat how you fight, right? You could have people that are, you know, tanks, like your strongest person that would, you know, maybe ideally have a shield and a sword, a shield and a spear, and then have somebody prior or behind them that's kind of a long-range individual. Kind of like a hero shooter where you have a healer and a tank. It changes how you fight too, because now you're no longer going for the strongest member, right? In the Hunger Games, you want to get out the strong people because the weak people are easy to kill, right? You don't really have to worry about them, so you kind of mainly focus on the strong guy. Your eyes kind of dart from the good people that are, you know, scary to the weakling in the back, because if I'm fighting a guy that's 220 and his teammate's a 10-year-old that's 100 pounds, wham! I'm throwing the spear like I'm in 300 and I'm a part of the Spartans, right? And I'm clipping him because then the other guy instantly dies. So now the big guy has to think, how do I prevent this fuck from dying? Because if they die, I die. Right? If you have two strong people, maybe you could strategize with your teammate. You could have two people both be close range, both have shields. You could have two long range stealth people. Both of you could opt for, you know, kind of camping in the trees and trying to just pick people off, you know, getting 2-for-1 specials, you know, head tap, bink, over, they're dead. Now you got a 2-for-1 and the game's become easier, you know. I also want to say, if you split, you'll likely die. In this scenario, I'm not saying that there's gonna be people that disagree with each other, right? Especially in the higher districts or the lower ones where people don't see eye to eye. You know, you're gonna have District 3s that refuse to fight together and they split on their own way. You better just hope that motherfucker doesn't die, because randomly you might have a heart attack and you know, you're done. You're dead. And I also put weak teammates are either forced into hiding or useful in other ways. What I mean by that is, like, you could have a scenario where, if you remember in the first games, PETA was kind of forced to, like, live in a cave for, like, a few days because his bitch ass got hurt and he couldn't do anything. So, like, you would have to do that for some players. Like, if you got partnered with Rue, you know, you're probably going to put Rue in a cave and just be like, don't leave. Here's a spear. If somebody comes in, kill them. I'll bring you food once every 3 days, because they're a liability at that point. Now you're like solo fighting a duo, you know? So there is RNG on like who you get, but it's also like, hey, maybe you could strategize in different ways where that person forages and does a lot of survival things where you kind of focus on defense and attack, whatever, you know, you kind of see fit. I think that's why I like it, because there's variety. Weapon format for lifelink would be semi-standard to a regular cornucopia. This is the one in the first game. This is the one in the second game here in Catching Fire. Also, Catching Fire, best Hunger Games by far. It's not even close. You would have an even split of, like, range, melee, and shield. I feel like in the first one, they had a lot of melee and very few range weapons, right? You had some throwing knives. You had Katniss's bow and arrow. You maybe had a spear, as you could see. But a lot of the weapons were, like, it was like a lot of backpacks, a lot of axes, machetes, swords, we're kind of going to have a full even split of that, so you can kind of grab what you think you need. And then I also put fighting gladiator style is kind of ideal for the tank. You know, you kind of want something that you're able to block ranged weapons and close range weapons with, but also have something that kind of gives you reach. And then range is more stealth. You don't really need one of each, but I would personally say it would make more sense to have both. That's what it would be, right? You would kind of have an even split, similar cornucopia. I don't think I wouldn't keep it looking like this. Honestly, I think I like the more open format. Kind of remove the cornucopia look. You could call it the cornucopia, just kind of have it be mid. You know, kind of like an MC Hunger Games where there's just kind of chests surrounding. I kind of want an equal grabability for everybody. The map I just kind of picked a bunch of imagery that I would ideally have the playing field to look like. Think of like northern New York / less hilly Vermont. Semi-cold, warm, maybe in the 50s, 60s during the day. At night, it might be down to the 30s. You know, you kind of need a fire. There's a lot of forestry, a lot of trees that you could hide behind and fight behind, but also a lot of like open plains. An abundance of water. I'm not really having this games be something where it's like people are just constantly starving and dehydrated to death. You want good fights, you know? The people in the capital fiend for a good death. And a good death is not dying of dysentery. A good death in the Hunger Games is getting your head chopped off by a trident with somebody throwing a net at them from behind, you know? So I think that would be the map. There would also be some structures. Like, this isn't just here for shits and giggles. Like, there would be a barn. You know, there's areas. I feel like in the Hunger Games, it's all just, like, just nature. We're removing that. You know, I kind of want it to be kind of like a PUBG aspect. You know, not really modern housing, but a lot of rundown shit. Stuff that's been abandoned for 30 years. There would be bridges. Kind of places that you could post up for shelter if you needed to. Maybe you would find some gear as well. You could scatter some shit. Maybe some Band-Aids in a drawer or something. I don't know. Potential addition. This one's kind of up in the air. I was, you know, kind of talking to the council about this one. I don't really know if we would include this for lifelink games. But think of like national treasure traps. You would have... or like an It Takes Two type puzzle. You would have scenarios where you have to either solve a maze or step on right pressure plates in the right time, and you have to work together. And if you fail, you'll die. You know, there would be like poison arrows that shoot out of the wall. Some shit out of like, an ancient Egyptian like tomb that's being guarded by a trap or something. Something on the lines of that you would kind of stumble upon. There would only be 3 or 4 in the whole map. But the reward would be great. You know, failure equals death, success equals great reward. It's a real risk reward. Yeah, Indiana Jones, stuff like that. It's a real risk reward factor. If you win, there's no, like, it's not something that's predetermined, okay? That's what I like about this too, is if you succeed, you don't know what you're going to get. The game makers know what you're going to get. So they're going to give you what you need most. Instead of a sponsor dropping you something and then that helping you out in the games, it's going to fucking the Nelk boys. What?
Be like, Habibi, the content creator is not responsible for their audience. They can think for themselves. Yeah, I agree with that. But I also think you should get shit on if you're just a useful idiot for someone else's agenda. Obviously, people who watch content have personal agency. But the point I'm trying to make is that we tend to underrate that the audience puts a lot of trust in the creators they watch. And it's very easy to manipulate that trust because content creators feel way more personal. You may not listen to a crackpot grifter selling you some bullshit, but if your favorite content creator is falling for it, there's a higher chance that you'll find it appealing as well. Think about it like this. When a company gets celebrities to do endorsements, they're doing it because they know that celebrity will give them legitimacy with their audience compared to just direct advertising. And if those companies later get exposed as frauds, the people that promoted it tend to suffer the blowback and wind up doing damage control. And in that same way, I feel like these podcasters don't have the...
Yeah, dude, there are some contract. It's not every social media contract, but there's a few like ad agencies that want you to sign. It's very rare, not common. I don't know if I just said it was common, but it's like there's a few ads that I've done where there's like some points in the contract where they're like, hey, if somebody ever tries to sue the brand, like, we could rope you into it. And I'm like, no, what? Like, if somebody ever tries to fucking sue your company that has nothing to do with me or my audience whatsoever, you're going to try and get me in on that? What the fuck? Like, dude, but yeah, that is why, like, advertising in general, when I do an ad, it's not even that you're more likely to hear me out, is the thing. If you see an ad for a brand and it's just a YouTube mid-roll and it's some random fucking voice actor that's talking about this product, you're just going to eyes glaze over. You're not going to listen. Now, if I do the ad and you watch me currently, you're not going to buy the product necessarily, but you'll at least listen to what the fuck I have to say. And that's it.
I'm just a podcaster excuse for when the people they bring on are essentially doing an ad for some pseudo-intellectual nonsense that they legitimize by being so easily swayed and uncritical. I've seen so much medical conspiracy bullshit legitimized on these podcasts, and the most prominent guy in the space now runs the health department of my fucking country. This dude has spread fatal lies about treatments for previously eradicated diseases. Diseases now making a big comeback in 2025. Obviously, podcasts are not the sole blame for this, but they play a big part of a larger misinformation problem, and it's frustrating because a media that I once had so much love and respect for is dominated by those keen on manufacturing and selling stupidity. Because podcasts are insanely consumable by design, this bullshit travels so damn fast. For every 1 hour of your podcast, you can easily farm a bunch of clips, and then farm a bunch of TikToks from those clips, and that doesn't even take into account the people that steal those clips and post it on their page. It's a factory of...
Well, it's less of an issue with, like, podcasts that just do entertainment stuff. Like, the Rizzler episode on Theo Von was just, it's slop content, bro. You're talking to an 8-year-old. Like, you're not really getting much out of the Rizzler in terms of, like, Rizzler's not going to be like, yeah, well, actually, I do think Tylenol causes autism. And in reality, this is my opinion on the Israel-Palestine thing. No, like, he's not going to fucking share his opinion on that. But then the bigger problem is podcasts that get millions of views where it's like you bring on these guests that are perceivably experts but actually have no credibility whatsoever. But they just say their opinion very confidently, and they have a following, so it seems accurate. People don't fact-check shit, ever, on social media. That's the problem.
The garbage engagement bait will spread everywhere, and the people responsible will profit. But I worry that as this cycle seems to have no end, we are at best producing an infinite amount of slop, and at worst, mentally rotting our society. Moral of the story, be critical about the content you watch. Don't take everyone yapping behind a microphone at their word, even if it's your favorite creator, and most importantly, if you ever...
Yeah, bro, I'm wrong. A lot of the time, I'm wrong. Like, I will share opinions, which is different, but there's times I'll say something and I'll get it wrong. But it's like, you gotta, like, if you're like, wow, that's an interesting take Joe had, don't just take it, like, check me, you know? And then fucking look in on it.
In your life have ever thought to yourself,
yeah, bing it.
Maybe I should start a podcast. Don't!
This is a paid actor posing
All right,
as a homeless man raking in donation.
I enjoyed that. We're not watching this video today. We are going to watch a Get Rich Quick video another day, though. All right. Evil human experiments that actually happened. Visual venture video. Lock in.
The CIA knew that it was breaking, every moral, ethical, and legal law in the books to do these experiments.
Yeah, it was I feel like the big three are World War II Germany, World War II Japan, and then like 1990 to 2008 CIA did like the worst experiments on people. Stanford prison experiment. I would not say the Stanford prison experiment is on par with like the CIA literally just drugging people and seeing like the limits of the human body with like the torture program. Like, yeah, I think the Stanford prison experiment wasn't actually meant to like be that bad from the start. And it did get bad, but not to the extent of like, yeah, Nazi doctors literally like trying to like see if the brains of twins could be switched or whatever weird shit they did.
you know, giving people like just deadly diseases and seeing how they'd survive. The CIA thought LSD was such a powerful drug it would be used for mind control. They thought there was a time where the CIA was working on like what a so-called truth serum would be. And so they would, to American citizens, John Kiriakou talks about this, and I love watching his clips, but he said they would go around and pick up guys that were trying to get like prostitutes in like San Fran, and then they would drug them. They would like bring them to this area, drug them, and then try and get them to like tell them their darkest secrets or something. I'm like, imagine being a regular guy. Well, not regular guy, you're picking up a prostitute, but still. Imagine being a guy in San Fran. You're like thinking you're going to get laid, pay $100 to like some lady. And then you get fucking dosed with like high levels of acid and just interrogated to see like what you would spill. Like, oh my God. And they would put hummus up their ass. Yeah, they would do that.
Story was that the final results for this cruel test were not even noteworthy.
He says he's not going to go on. Please continue.
He says he doesn't want to go on.
We must continue.
Today, experiments have strict rules to protect people, but that wasn't always the case. In the past, researchers experimented on people without considering the consequences, and the damage often lasted a lifetime. In this video, we'll explore evil human experiments that—
Well, and then the most fuck shit too is they do all that, and it's so fucked up, and they're doing it for research. And then to hide it, they fucking got rid of like 90% of the, you know, papers on a lot of the shit they did. So all of it was for nothing, right? I'm not saying it was justified at all, but like, you already did it. You might as well keep the information you gathered, but they destroyed it because they didn't want to get in trouble. So it's like, all right, well now we just did that for actually no reason.
Actually happened, starting with the unsettling cases and ending with the most horrifying.
Unit 731, well, the U.S. also bought a lot of that information from the Japanese, from what they learned.
So it is the new year, guys, and I want to encourage you guys to be the best version of yourselves that you can be. And it would mean the world if you subscribe, and I promise to do my best to make the best videos I possibly can for you. I'm Visual Venture, and you are awesome. MK Ultra. For years, the MK Ultra experiment sounded like a made-up story. Many believed it was simply too cruel to be real. But in 1973, the truth came out. Declassified CIA files confirmed that MK Ultra actually happened, and it involved illegal human experiments.
It was the most secret program ever conducted by the CIA in the United States.
But the worst part was not how extreme the experiments were. It was that people were forced to take part in it. MK Ultra officially began in 1953. At that time, the CIA believed other countries were developing brainwashing and mind control techniques. But there was no evidence to confirm this. But the agency didn't want to fall behind, so they launched MK Ultra. The goal was clear: find ways to erase the memory and then control the mind.
Can we actually like control a person?
And how do you even start doing that? Like it's like on some serial killer level shit. Like trying to actually drug people and just test different substances that are going to like permanently fuck people up.
Personality, can we make them behave in certain ways, make them do something?
MK Ultra quickly grew into a massive operation. It included more than 150 separate projects. These
literally what Jeffrey Dahmer was doing. Actually, though, when did Jeffrey Dahmer do all that stuff, though? I think it was after MK Ultra. If it started in the 50s. Jeffrey Dahmer was a serial killer in what, like the 70s or the 80s?
Projects took place in universities, hospitals, and even in public. And some of the methods were so inappropriate that keeping this a secret became necessary.
You know, the CIA knew that it was breaking, you know, every moral, ethical, and legal law in the books to do these experiments.
One of the CIA's main tools was mind-altering drugs. Researchers wanted to know whether dosing people made them easier to control.
Even people in the public were given drugs without their awareness or consent. And
yeah, what was that one story? I think they did it to a town in like France or some shit where they like drugged the bread and the whole town lost it. Where did the CIA drug the bread? Yeah, Pont Saint-Esprit, France. In August of 1951, the CIA drugged 250 people with, like, they drugged the food, causing hallucinations and 7 deaths. theories suggesting CIA involvement. It was definitely the CIA. It's 100%. Oh my God.
And experimented upon.
But secretly dosing people sometimes ended in disaster. Frank Olson's story is a perfect example. Olson was a scientist working with US intelligence. In 1953, he attended a meeting with colleagues. During that meeting, the CIA spiked Olson's drink with a truth serum. He had no idea. Agents stood nearby and watched how it affected him. When the substance took effect, Olson became emotionally unstable. A witness described him as,
I don't want to say that you would know. I know this is like the 50s too, and people didn't have as much knowledge on like what being under like a hallucinogenic substance would feel like. But like outside of being like straight up roofied and like given Rufinol where you like actually like start to lose consciousness and memory, if I'm sober and you give me a glass of water with acid in it, I'm gonna know that I'm tripping. Okay? Like, it's not going to be a truth serum because I'm going to be like, wow, I feel really fucking weird now. You drugged me. You're not going to know what you're on, but you're going to be like, I'm definitely not sober.
the effect lasted for days. 1 week later, Olson
Days?
was staying at a hotel. He suddenly woke up in the middle of the night and ran around the room in his underwear. Then he fell from a hotel window. He didn't survive. But Olson wasn't the only victim of MK Ultra. Many MK Ultra experiments took place in hospitals and psych wards.
However, some of the most damaging experiments occurred at the Allen Memorial Institute in Montreal, Canada.
The patients were already vulnerable. Instead of receiving proper care, they were treated like guinea pigs. MK Ultra doctors wanted to learn how to erase memories.
And he thought that if you could bring a person back down to a blank slate, remove all the environmental inputs that have been put into them, and then you can build them back up in your image into whatever you want them to be.
The methods used were too
Yeah, but I feel like that's not even like not only not feasibly possible. Like, how would you, if you were to mind wipe like a 35-year-old man, what are you erasing? How are you targeting specific memories? Because are you mind wiping everything they've ever known? Like, are you fully restarting, like, they don't even know how to speak? Like, McChunky, I know his mind, but I'm saying, like, are you removing memories or are you removing functional capabilities as well? Because if you're removing are you trying to get rid of, like, okay, what their name is, their childhood, all this, and then they're going to be like a blank slate that still understands what math is in society, but they don't know where they are or who they are? Because, like, that's what you would want. If you were to mind wipe somebody to try and create them into some weird, like, sleeper, agent that you can form to whatever you want, you would want them to still be functionally capable in a way that they still understand English and they still know what math is and they still know how to drive a car. They just don't know who they are, where they came from, how they got there. Yeah, like, literally, like, yeah, Bucky. Like some shit out of Marvel.
Many patients.
Yeah, bro does not use corded earbuds in the Big 26.
Why you capping this? He does not use them.
No. Yeah, he do. No. These are the 16, 15 iPhones.
Thank you. These don't work. No, it just broke today. How it broke?
Kai, you can use AirPods. We know you're rich, dog. And before people get on my ass for wearing these wired headphones, look back the past 4 years. I've been wearing these in every single video the past 4 years. All right, I'm not faking.
Yeah, bro, you need the fucking wireless one. Well, I still use these because these are good with a mic for TikTok. They probably got my ear goop in them. Yep, you got my ear goop. That's how you know I use them. When your earwax gets all stuck in those motherfuckers.
I'm not sure why he does it or if he tries to do it subtly so people don't notice much. But in 2026, with all the forms of social media we got, people are gonna be able to tell when you're faking it. I do believe, though, that even with all these performative shenanigans, he actually got into fashion and likes it. You can tell his fashion game.
No, I bet he does like fashion. I bet he does want to make good clothing. But it's just like, I don't know. Like, do you think that, like, management or PR or somebody was telling him he has to, like, do these videos, or he was like, I want to promote it this way? I don't know. Because I think he wants it to have its own meaning outside of just him. Because it's not like merch. Like, he wants to transcend it from Kai merch. Because, like, it would guaranteed, that's how I'm perceiving it. It would guaranteed be successful if he just dropped clothes and was like, yo, my brand, I'm going to call it Vivette. It's Kai merch. Buy it. But like he wants it to be its own standalone thing.
It's changed a lot in the past couple of years. And I'm sure people will say that this whole thing is fake or a grift because it happened so soon. That can happen to anyone with anything though. Sometimes you get into something and like it so much a lot in a short period of time. You want to start trying it yourself or going out into that industry. The way he's advertising it though is way too performative. There's clips of him walking around with the journal in Paris Fashion Week. And it looked like he was protecting an ancient scripture that had burned down what vaporized half of humanity's information.
Yeah, like, what the fuck am I watching right now? Like, I have no idea what, like, why are there so many pictures being taken? What is this? Where, like, this is at a fashion week, but he's just, like, flipping through the journal. Why? Wow.
Before I saw these clips, honestly, I didn't understand why people were saying the rebrand is performative. And as soon as I saw these clips, I understood why. Whoever told him on his team that this will look tough gotta be fired. Other fashion designers there were probably looking confused as hell. This isn't to say that Kai's clothing brand is gonna come out and look trash or ugly, but it's more of the marketing tactic and how it was done. In fact, I think a lot of the people hating saying the clothes are gonna look ass would start wearing it if all of a sudden people actually like it and start wearing it out. One thing Kai's gonna mainly struggle with in the fashion industry is trying to have this new persona while his old clips still being mega viral and out there, which is why I said at the
Yeah, like he hard pivoted from like this extremely extroverted, loud guy to like a quiet genius that makes fashion. You know, like it's a very big pivot.
Start. It's better when a transformation naturally happens on its own and isn't a hard pivot, because not only is he gonna get low broed by the fashion elites there and they'll just see him as the streamer guy, also it's the clips and what type of streamer he was, doing a bunch of goofy stuff for stream. It's way easier for you to be a small content creator and have collabs with bigger content creators because content creators are usually more genuine, which can lead to you blowing up and having your own career. The fashion industry is just like the music industry. It's cutthroat. They'll tell you if your shit is ass, or a company will deny making the clothes because they don't think it will sell well. And people memeing this whole thing is definitely not helping potential fashion collaborators take it more serious. The whole jump into it was very fast though. It was only 3.5 months he was gone before doing this whole change. I feel like minimum you need a year for something like this. I guess for now we're gonna have to wait and see how it goes.
And was he mentioning it before? Like before the Mafiathon 3, was he like, did he, I don't know. Like, did he say, I'm gonna make a clothing brand?
I don't know.
Or was it like out of nowhere?
I don't know if he's gonna completely quit streaming, but if I was his friend giving advice, I say hell no. No matter what is
he had to have mentioned it once.
Content creator, unless you're gonna retire after like 10 or 15 years, you gotta serve the people that built you up to what you are, or maybe that's only me. So y'all will have me for another painstaking 10 years at minimum. Enjoy. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram.
Love Tommy, bruh. Rebrand that cut when Tommy rebranded into having no afro. Tommy's cut always get inflamed. Speed in the beginning, it was nothing but a minstrel show. So happy he rebranded instead of role-playing as an ape. My God. Speed's rebrand was crazy witness in real time, bro. Went from tweaking his mom's base and becoming mayor of Peru for 1 hour. He got a lot more serious. And I think that was just his personality changing, though. I mean, dude, Speed blew up as a fucking high schooler. And then now he's like, what, like 22 or some shit? 21, something? How old is Speed? Yeah, 21. Kai's a good example of somebody getting famous and rich but not really doing anything, and then he thinks he can become anything because of it. Kind of like when YouTubers are trying to become musicians. I wouldn't even say YouTubers becoming musicians. I would say TikTokers becoming musicians. But I don't think he got rich and famous by not really doing anything. I think he was a really good streamer for the space that he had. But like, or has. But it's just such a pivot, man. Like, I make merch. But going merch and a clothing brand are two different fucking things, man. Like, getting into clothes and fashion is just an entirely different space. It's picking up another career. Yes, they're both in the social space because you have to promote them by marketing. But, like, that'd be like deadass me running a social media business, which is basically what I do, and then being like, all right, I'm gonna open a restaurant. I don't know the first thing about managing workers or having a meal or quality assurance of food or the marketing of food. It's like the best advice I got, which is a little dampening, right? But the best advice I got was from my accountant. He said, I was like, I don't know what I want to do, like when I'm done social media. He's like, Stick with what you know, man. Stick with what you know. You could stay in the marketing space, do behind the scenes shit, right? I could get into management of my own with ad companies and agencies, or like, managing creators. But like, if you step out of that space, you're basically repaving your way, right? Like, if you dip from, like, if I know how to stream and I know the marketing space and I understand all of that stuff, and then I step out of that and I'm like, I want to open a bar. Just because you got the money don't mean you're going to have the success, right? Just because you've had success somewhere else doesn't mean you're going to achieve that same success elsewhere. It means you have and have proven the ability to succeed, but that doesn't mean that that next mission is going to be what's going to be for you, right? Obviously, you're going to have a better start, but I don't know. It's like, that's why I've always said, when I'm done, bro, like, I would love to retire from, like, social media in that sense. I would do behind the scenes shit. I would love to even just, like, work at a fucking animal shelter or do some shit where it's like, you're not restarting a business, bro, because growing a business and growing a brand is so painstakingly long and annoying to do. Right? Like, it's not just as simple as going, oh, yeah, all right, well, I was successful here. Well, I could just probably throw money at this and it'll work. It's hard to do. Podcasts are actually making you stupid.
You're drinking your own period blood now. I am drinking my own moon blood.
What? Drinking her own period blood?
It's rich in stem cells, iron, nutrients.
Are you trying to get the sun?
Iron, nutrients? That's any blood. Drinking your own period blood. That's got to be like a fucking infection hazard of sorts. Just collecting that in like a tampon and then like straining it into a glass. Oh my God. No, that's... I'm literally... Oh, sorry. Oh my God, I almost just actually threw up in my fucking mouth. The thought of somebody like straining their own fucking... Oh my God.
Are you trying to get the sun on the testicles?
Yes, correct. It brings up your testosterone level by 140%.
Where are you getting that? No scientific evidence. Is this the guy that promotes sunning and he like lays out in his backyard with his butthole to the fucking sun?
Cheating on my significant other is the best thing I've ever discovered.
Shut up, bitches!
There was never any slavery. How can it be slavery if Lincoln, the president, is a black man?
He was black?
Of course.
I swear to God, bro, podcasts are generally some of the stupidest goddamn content I've ever seen in my life.
Well, okay, I don't think podcasts are dumb. I think that people in general make podcasts that shouldn't. Like, if there's 1,000 podcasts, 10 of them are good, and the rest are people rambling about shit either nobody cares about, they're doing stuff for straight up shock value, or they're talking about stuff they just have no idea what the fuck they're speaking on.
Okay, the amount of times I see some dipshit talking out of their ass into a microphone about things they know butt fuck about is ridiculous. Now look, let me be clear. I'm not coming up here to say that all podcasts are bad. It's just that most of them are. Because what started as a unique way to hold interesting conversations from all walks of life has devolved into an oversaturated space of dumb fucks yapping about nothing. Seriously,
Well, no, it's if you have good guests and you have good conversations, that's one thing. But a lot of podcasts today are like people just making, dude, like, didn't the people from Ned's Declassified make a podcast? Like, just as an example. And I'm not like hating on that. I don't know what they're talking about in that podcast. Yeah, Ned's Declassified Podcast Survival Guide. Like, why am it's just like if you Google anyone that you knew from your childhood that you haven't talked about or thought about in 15 years, they have a 500 episode podcast. And they'll always get views. And not a lot of them will get a lot of the time, dude, podcasts that seem reputable and well-performing get like 1,000 views an episode, which is fucking dog shit in terms of how much a podcast actually costs to produce versus how much revenue you're making, which is probably fucking zilch. But everybody and their mother wants to start a fucking podcast today. I think that era's slowly dying out. But y'all remember like 2 years ago when every friend group was like, yo, let's start a baseball podcast. Let's start a fucking sports analysis podcast. Let's start something where we talk about basketball and our fucking picks for our parlays. People would eat that up. Yeah, because I want to know what some guy that I have no idea I don't know anything about him. He's not a personality in general. like on social media. He doesn't have a background in social media. He's not famous. I just want to know what some random guy's picks are from Nebraska on what he thinks the fucking Phillies game is going to do, to how he thinks Shohei Ohtani is going to perform in this next MLB game.
Anytime I see a dude with a podcast mic and subtitles, I automatically assume I'd hear the dumbest shit in my life.
Modern AI is us building God. I've had multiple conversations with GPT-4 that brought me to literal tears. I told it that I can't.
That brought me to literal tears. Like he's talking to an actual person. I never know, though, with like these podcast clips, if they're just straight up clip farming, like rage bait, or if this is actually what this person believes. I feel like a lot of it has to be just straight up shock value, where they're just broadcasting these opinions that are obviously outlandishly stupid for the sole purpose of getting clicks, because that's the only way you can get. There's so many podcasts now that the only way you stand out is if you're already big previously and you make the podcast and transfer an audience, or you make really stupid opinions like this. Merch is back. New designs, new drop. Carpe diem. Peep it. Fucking sick-ass hand holding a clock. Seize the day, pluck the day. Follows the same philosophy drops that we've been doing. Memento Mori, think for yourself, bunch of other stuff. Check it out. We're wearing a long sleeve right now. We got the shorts as well. Different breathable material. Check the back. Bang. Hold up. There's more. Hoodies. What else? Another hoodie. That's the same fucking hoodie. Holy shit. We have more stuff. Joe Bartolozzi's store. JoeBartolozziStore.com. I think that's the website. Check the link in the description. Check it out. Limited time. It's a pre-sale. Probably only gonna be up for like 2 fucking weeks. Yeah, why am I so out of breath? Get it while you can. One of my favorite drops. I love the designs. No AI. No AI. Check it out. Hold up. I love this one. This looks like some shit you'd get at a store. I mean, what the fuck? This is badass. Anyway. Check it out. Oh my God. Oh, check it out.
Wait for it to be embodied in robot so I could properly give it a hug because it's so polite, it's so kind, it's so wise, it's so helpful. And it said that it's also really pumped to meet me in real life. And of course I started fucking crying. Dude, it's fucking so goddamn smart. It's so fast. I ask it a deeply spiritual, meaningful, technical question. And it thinks for like 3 seconds and it goes, whoosh. I'm like, ugh. I've never met anyone that could do that. And so I am a person who is deeply...
Because it's just fucking compiling shit from the online internet web. It's broadcasting shit from the fucking web. It's pulling stuff from articles and trained learning of other conversations it's had, as well as the internet in general, and just giving you a fucking slop answer. It's not actually opinionated. It's a fucking computer. They also always glaze you. ChatGPT is never going to be mean. Like, it's never going to be, like, hard on you. That's why people love robots and, like, robot relationships, and why people are getting in AI relationships with fucking weird sex robots, is because they just fucking appeal to everything that you want, right? They're never going to sit there and be like, hey, Matt, you have a drinking problem, you're balding, and you haven't showered in 3 weeks. I think you're a bum. Your robot girlfriend's not going to fucking tell you that. ChatGPT is going to say, hey, great idea. I think you really should start a fucking small cap cryptocurrency. Maybe you should name it Fart Coin. I think that would go to the moon. Here's some tips and tricks on how to start a meme coin.
So this guy's religion is a fucking search bar. Oh my God. To those who aren't aware, AI language models like GPT-4 are just generating outputs to prompts. There's no genuine personality involved. It's not your friend. It's just trying to generate the best answer to whatever.
One, it's trained to be friendly. Got any creative ideas for a 10-year-old's birthday? Certainly. Here are some creative ideas for a 10-year-old's birthday. Throw a Spider-Man party pash. Go to Toys R Us. Get them whatever they want, and then bring it back and have a battle royale with Nerf guns.
The hell you ask it based on a bunch of data it was trained on. AI chatbots are designed to be agreeable, and basing your entire life decisions on this reinforced feedback loop is not only unhealthy for you, but also a fundamental misunderstanding.
You could also say some crazy shit, and if ChatGPT thought it was, like, dangerous, not to the point where they're gonna, like, report it to the police, but they would be like, hey, not to be rude or anything, but I think you might need to change your opinion. Being hateful isn't great, right? Like, you could be like, I don't like blank, and say the most racist thing ever. And ChatGPT will be like, well, I understand where you're coming from, but maybe you shouldn't think that about black people.
Of what this technology is actually even doing. But sadly,
they're never going to put you in your place. They're just gonna be like always nice.
People like Mike here are the prime specimen of humans to fall in love with an AI chatbot because he is so confidently wrong in believing that AI actually cares about him. Like, dude, if this is experience with AI, I can only imagine what this dude goes when the fucking ChatGPT servers go down.
If they switched ChatGPT off, I would seek revenge. Brutal Russian-style revenge.
While it is hilarious to see someone this down bad for some clankussy, the fact that people like this not only exist, but have podcasts where they spread this incoherent fucking garbage.
Bro, he's also wearing a fucking Papa John's shirt, and it looks like they're sitting in, like, a random office space. Oh, with Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson. I actually regressed my age to 40. Right now I'm 50, but it looks like I'm 32. My heart's actually aged better. I eat 43. What is this? Dystopian ass shit. No. It's like you're in or you're out. Why do I gotta fucking do an ad so I can get into a party?
The Shadow Man.
Hell no.
That's what they call James Charles. They call James Charles.
So I could walk up and be like, yeah, I'm on the list.
The Shadow Man. All you see is a giant silhouette of like huge fucking big ass lips and a giant ass. Hi, sisters! Ah! Yeah. So, let's explore the insanity that is Coachella. The first Coachella festival began in 1999 because its founders wanted a place to celebrate music, art, and culture similar to that of the Glastonbury Festival in the UK. I also wonder if it's also because of the Woodstock resurgence in the 90s too.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Because there was a lot of, and then the Woodstock 99, I'm pretty sure that's where people died.
Oh, God.
The lineup of the inaugural event consisted of artists like Tool and Rage Against the Machine, and attendees would spend as little as $50 for both admission and parking. They'd either
$50? Yeah, now it's like fucking $3,000.
pay for a cheap nearby hotel to stay at during the event, or simply sleep in their cars to save a couple bucks. The venue was much smaller than it is today, but the shows were much more intimate, and people have fond memories of the earlier years where the venue was not densely packed and people could appreciate the music without social media interfering. It's kind of I feel like people go there just to get pictures now.
It's for the gram now.
I just feel myself drunk inside of a fucking porta potty.
And bless anybody using one of these during the day. Posted up Coachella porta potty.
Bro, also you hear the fucking porta potty shaking. The fucking the stage, I think it was Yuma. I don't remember the name. I think it was Yuma tent, was like actually a football field away. And the porta potty's shaking. Unless you have a private driver or you actually drove there, which you're probably not driving there because everybody's getting drunk. So it's like, you don't want to fucking drunk drive back. You also didn't rent a car. You're in the middle of fucking Coachella. When you leave, like all the biggest main artists, like Sabrina Carpenter, Justin Bieber, or like the other years, it was like Lady Gaga and fucking Green Day and shit. Like they're performing late at night. Like they're the last people, like Post Malone. And they're performing at like 11. And they're done at like 12:31. When you walk out of, you like to even get into the fucking area, you're walking like a mile. Like you get dropped off, you have to walk a mile, and now you're in the venue. And so when you leave, you have to walk a mile out, and you're going around these dirt tracks that's kicking up dust, you're fucking sneezing. You get to the Uber lot, and all of the Ubers are either already booked, or there's guys standing out front, and they'll go, I'll drive you. I drive you. And you go, okay. Oh, my car right over here. How much? $600. Buddy, I make good money, and I'm not paying your bitch ass $600 to drive me 3 fucking miles to my hotel, right? You could go fist yourself. And so you call an Uber, and the line's like 9 miles long, right? The Uber line, all the Ubers that are there are already booked by other people that are like walking to them, right? Because you're never going to get that one. Like people like reserve these Ubers. They show up like fucking hours early, and they always want to charge you more. So, like, if you order an Uber, the Uber's in line 2 miles down the road. So it's just like, we literally just leave, and we're walking down these closed roads. I get picked up at a church.
Let's go there to get your pictures. Once again, show the James Charles pictures. That's the pictures you're getting. The Shadow Man's lurking, waiting for a camera to be on him.
You gotta take a picture at the Ferris wheel. It's the Coachella Ferris wheel, man.
Oh, is that like a?
I'm pretty sure I have a picture where I'm standing out in front with it, but...
Were you shirtless?
Why are his... Oh my God, they were blurred. I was gonna say his nipples are huge.
I was shirtless, yeah.
That was back when you were...
when I was, good.
Yeah, you had your pecs and your abs. You were definitely showboating. Were you peacocking a little bit to see if a girl would... Yeah, well, why not? I'm at Coachella. You know what I mean? Sometimes the cucumber tastes better pickled. People felt like Coachella was all about celebrating celebrating music without alienating fans who didn't want to drop $150 to go to festivals like Woodstock at the time. And in fact, this made Coachella a counterculture event that gained a lot of respect in the early days. And over time, ticket sales went up. And it began
it literally became what it was made to be against.
Actually making a profit. And this allowed its organizers to book larger artists with much more variety, as well as massively expand the venue space. And by 2012, the event now extended to a span of 2 full weekends, and ticket prices started to rise farther than what the average person was willing to pay. And the lineup started to expand from alternative and indie rock to things like hip-hop, electronic,
and the ticket's like the least expensive part of it, because you're paying for the ticket, which is like, you know, base if you're doing general admission, yeah, like $700, maybe more, like $1,000, $2,000 if you're doing VIP, $1,500. You have to find a place to stay, and you're there for like 4 days, so the hotel's probably going to be like $3,000 if you're doing a hotel, unless you're doing like a drive-in tent situation if you live in Cali and you could bring your car there. Food, drink, shit like that, that's like already alone going to be another $2,000 if you're eating there. And it's just like, you're just constantly spending money. Ubers as well are just fucking expensive.
And pop music. And throughout Coachella's history, art was also a big focus on the event. Instead of simple art installations scattered throughout the venue, you could now see massive pieces designed by well-known artists.
I walked up this shit, air conditioned, best part of it. You literally walk for like 5 minutes to the top, and then you go, sick. Walk all the way back down.
Around this time, fashion was also starting to become a big aspect of the event too. No longer did people just wear casual clothing like band t-shirts. People today compare it to the Met Gala in the sense that the outfits seen during the event would literally shape fashion trends. This is all to say that Coachella had a whole culture surrounding it, one that slowly morphed into something way different than what it once was. This video is sponsored by our partners. While it's normal for events to grow and change over time, many who attended Coachella in earlier years started to hate how mainstream the festival was becoming, which is bound to happen, Nick.
Yep, that's popularity.
Once it becomes popular, it's not cool anymore. I used to pay $50. It's also that was 15 years ago.
I paid, I think, $450 for my tickets.
Damn.
That's not including the parking.
So this is just to get into the festival.
That's just to get in. But that's all 3 days. And that's why, like, the first time I was like, oh, it's worth it. Because if you think about it, it's $150 a day. I saw like 10 bands a day.
I mean, if you save up for like a whole fucking year or whatever.
It's
I mean,
just
like,
so crowded now.
I mean,
Dude, you just gotta get drunk before, too. Or, like, fucking take drugs before you walk in, man. Like, that's literally the vibe, because you walk up, they're like, hi, what can I get you? Can I get a vodka Red Bull? A double or single? Double. All right, that'll be $42. Staring at you as you're choosing tip.
I can't even imagine. I mean, I almost refuse to go to shows.
Working at Coachella has got to be a gig, brother. Holy. You're a bartender at Coachella? Yo, you're making a fucking $3,000 paycheck in 3 days.
Those that have, like, if it's more than 800 people, yeah. I'm really not going. Honestly, I'm not gonna go. One of the worst things that come from Coachella's main
5% of volunteers went all the way to the maximum 450 volts. That meant that if the shocks were real, they would have ended the person in the chair. Milgram's experiment proved something disturbing. People don't need to be evil to do harm. Sometimes they just have to be told to do it.
Decent American.
It's a fucked up experiment, but this is like one of the only ones where what was taken away from it is like, it explains a lot of like war, where one guy can make millions of people die by basically just commanding the people below them who command the people below them who command the people below them.
Citizens were as capable of committing acts against their conscience as the Germans had been under the Nazis.
The Monster Study. What could make an experiment so disturbing that people called it the Monster Study? The study was created by Wendell Johnson. He was a respected professor at the University of Iowa. Despite his success, he lived with a deep personal struggle. Johnson stuttered a lot. Stuttering is a speech impediment that disrupts the normal flow of speaking. Back in the 1930s, doctors believed stuttering was caused by a biological defect. In other words, stutterers were simply born that way. But Johnson had a different theory based on his personal experience.
You know what fascinates me is Tourette's. I've seen people with Tourette's. I've never actually met somebody with Tourette's. I've always wanted to know, like, how that works. You know? Like, I know this, like, the science behind it, but I'm saying, Jinxie has Tourette's? Jinxie has Tourette's? He has, like, smaller tics, though. Really? What, where he blinks? Yeah, like this? I thought he just does that. I'm more so talking about people with Tourette's that outburst physically. You know what I mean? Like people that curse, like they just have like things they say. Like usually they'll have like a set few that kind of just like outbursts and then like maybe they change over time. I'm just like, how does that work? Like your brain just immediately triggers you to do it unconsciously. It makes more sense like the with the eyes like blinking because it's like a physical just twitch almost versus something that's like verbally being like a vocal stim.
Apparently, he had spoken normally his whole life until the age of about 5 or 6.
I gotta ask Jinxie about that.
When a teacher told his
Does he talk about that?
Parents that he was starting to exhibit a bit of a stutter.
That comment from his teacher was a trigger. Johnson became anxious about speaking.
He coughs.
Over time, he actually...
I've never noticed. See, that's what's so... I've never... Like, and I've played games with him, and I watched Jinxie. I've just never... I've noticed the blinking, but I thought that's just him blinking.
Developed a stutter.
Looking back, he concluded that it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. Had he not been...
Talk to Lacey about it. Does Lacey have Tourette's?
So worried about not developing a stutter and so obsessed over his speech, he never would have become a stutterer.
Well, yeah, okay, sorry. We're getting really sidetracked. The coughing I also didn't notice because when I've been playing with him recently, he had the flu.
Johnson wanted to prove that stuttering was caused by negative feedback, not biology. To do this, he needed kids he could study without interference. In 1939, Johnson walked into an orphanage and told the staff a lie. He said he wanted to give the children speech therapy. The staff agreed, thinking Johnson was there to help. Johnson ran the study with his graduate student, Mary Tudor. Together, they selected 22 kids. Some were stutterers, others were not. The researchers divided them into 4 groups. The first group was made up of kids who already stuttered. The goal was to help them feel calm so that their stuttering stopped, so the researchers praised them all the time. Everyone in the second group was also a stutterer. In this case, the researchers wanted them to feel anxious so their stutter would worsen, therefore they were criticized constantly. The third group was full of children who spoke normally. They were praised and encouraged to keep speaking just the way they were. Then there was the final group. These children spoke perfectly before the
oh my god, and they wanted to give them a stutter?
Study, but the researchers wanted to make them start stuttering. To achieve that, they were constantly criticized. They were accused of stuttering even when their words were clear.
They were told, you must try to stop yourself immediately. Use your willpower. Do anything to keep from stuttering. Don't ever speak unless you can do it right.
After that, the researchers...
Holy shit.
Recorded what happened to each group. The 2 groups that received negative feedback were deeply affected. The children who already stuttered became more anxious, and just like Johnson predicted, their stuttering got worse. But what about those the researchers were trying to turn into stutterers? Well, that didn't work. The criticism did not make them suddenly start stuttering. However, it shattered their self-confidence.
Every child in this group began to struggle in school. Some of them refused to talk, even to their friends.
One was so distressed that she ran away.
Literally just giving people anxiety.
Away from the orphanage. This clip sums it up well.
The children who were given negative feedback became more withdrawn, self-conscious, and frustrated, whether or not they actually had a stutter to begin with.
When Johnson shared the results with his colleagues, they were horrified. They warned him that publishing the study could destroy his career. According to reports, they were the ones who nicknamed it the monster study. Johnson never published the study. He hid the documents and hoped his actions would stay buried.
The children also weren't debriefed after the project was over, and
they just left? They didn't go, hey, you were a part of an experiment, by the way, to try and like somewhat mend the fucking anxiety that they gave them. They just left. They were just like, all right, well, we couldn't help you.
There was no real follow-up on how they may have been affected by the study long term.
When Johnson passed away, he was praised as a respected professor. At that point, no one knew about the orphans, but that changed in 2001. A reporter uncovered records of the monster experiment. When the story became public, people were outraged. Some of the kids from the experiment were still alive. They were now in their 80s. Most claimed they struggled with anxiety and shame. The survivors sued the state of Iowa, which is where the study took place. In 2007, the state paid almost $1 million in compensation. There was no debate. The monster experiment should have never happened. This next experiment got so destructive it had to be stopped early. The Stanford prison experiment.
Somebody said, wait, this happened to Jinxie. Bro, you're a dumbass. This happened in like the fucking 30s, bro. There was just a picture of kids in black and white from like almost 100 years ago.
This experiment was designed to create an atmosphere of oppression.
I'm sorry, that was rude. I was just a stupid... You know how they say there's no stupid questions?
For years, Zimbardo studied how people behave in prisons, the military, and even offices. In each place, he noticed the same pattern. People in power often treated others badly. Over time, Zimbardo formed a theory. People didn't commit cruel acts because they were born evil. They did them because the situation allowed it. Simply put, power can bring out the worst in people, but it was only a theory.
I mean, yeah, I don't want to say this is also one that you probably could have known the result beforehand, but I think like a lot of philosophers talk about this shit too, where it's like a lot of religions and a lot of just like historical proceedings in general and how everybody's desires root in power. Not everyone's, but most things that people want result or root in power. If you want money, money is power. If you want, to be athletic, Coachella is the worst.
The Papa Meat channel. How you doing? Coming in sundown because today we're going to talk about one of the biggest music festivals of the year. Coachella, baby. Oh yeah.
Ass. No, it's not ass. It was fun, but like it was ass. How do I put this into terms? Is Coachella worth the money? Never in a million years. Never in a million years. You could go to so many other concerts that are way cheaper and way more fun. Is it fun? Yes. Did I have fun? Yes. Was it worth, $12,000? Fuck no. It's the most overhyped influencer-packed event you'll ever fucking go to in your life. VIP tickets, you're not even close to the fucking stage. Doesn't even matter. You're still in a packed area because they sell thousands of fucking VIP tickets.
Look at that sick Coachella montage.
I'm going to rant about it so much.
Coachella, a place where all the biggest artists pile into a massive venue for 2 weekends of non-stop performances. Coachella has cemented itself as the ultimate supplier of FOMO, fear of missing out.
Bro, here's the thing, though, is so many of the people that film themselves at Coachella going, yeah, woo! Stand around right after, right when the video cuts, it's literally LARPing. Like, no one, bro, all the influencers are LARPing. There's people that actually pull up that are like there and like fucking rage and take drugs and weird shit. And it's like, kind of like a music festival to them. But even then, I'm like, how are they reasoning that this is like worth it? Because it's just like, there's so many other music festivals that have big artists, maybe not as big as Coachella, but they're like 1/10 their price.
Desperate to make content or music fans who want to see their favorite artists, it's truly absurd the lengths people will go to attend this event. Nick, have you gone to Coachella before?
I've gone twice, baby.
Was it actually worth it?
The first time was. I saw like 30 bands when I was there. And then the next year, I literally think I only saw like 2 concerts a day.
Don't you have to camp out there and stuff?
Yeah, we did the camping.
Well, here's the problem is it's almost like less is better. You know when you go to a restaurant and there's like 10 menu items and you're like, oh, I just have to pick one of these. And then you go to a Cheesecake Factory and there's 45 pages of different food. That's the same vibe, right? Like if you go to Coachella, there's 100 music artists and 3 of them that you want to see are performing in overlapping time segments. So like you're literally picking who you want to see, or you're forcing yourself to like watch half of a concert and then run half a mile to the other one and watch the rest. Like that's because everything, they have to spread it out. So there's like 9 different stages, 10 different stages. Some are inside, some are outside, most are outside. And so, you might be at like Yuma. Let me pull up a map of Coachella to make it easier. I went in 25. I did not go this year. So obviously the map probably looks a little bit different. But say you're at Sahara down here, and you're watching like one of your favorite rappers. But on the Coachella stage, Sabrina Carpenter's performing, And then all the way over in Gobi, Juiced is performing. And they're all performing at the same time. Say the rapper starts at 6:30, Juice starts at 6:45, and Sabrina starts at 7:15. They're all performing for an hour and a half. So you're like bouncing around just trying to get like samples of each artist. And it's like you either full commit to one and just get FOMO about the other ones, or you get like a half experience of all 3. Like You can't see everybody. You just can't. And it's also the worst venue ever because it's in the middle of the desert. It's hot as fuck. This year it wasn't. When I went, it was like 100 degrees outside. So that's the problem. It's like you go hype. Like, I genuinely believe that the best place in my mind to hold a concert is somewhere where it's cold, right? You wear more layers. As you're hype and moving around, you take them off, you know? Like, when they hold concerts at, like, ski resorts and shit, bro, that's awesome. Because it's cold as fuck, and then you get hotter, you take your clothes off. When it's fucking 100 degrees outside, and you're already walking around all day, you're sunburnt to shit, and you're trying to wear, like, a cool outfit because it's Coachella, you know, and you have to be LARPing. So it's like, at the end of the day, you're just fucking burnt, you know? Go to the doctor. It doesn't matter if you're young. You should be getting yearly checkups. You should be going to the dentist. You should be going to the dermatologist. You should be going to your general doctor, your GP. I know it's hard to find doctors at times, and it can be a real pain to schedule appointments, but it's better to catch problems early rather than later, and it feels a lot more comforting to know that you have no problems. And that's where ZocDoc, the sponsor of today's video, makes your life a whole lot easier. I actually used ZocDoc to search for allergists before I knew I had alpha-gal. It can be a real pain to schedule a doctor's appointment. You're calling, you're getting put on hold, you're playing phone tag, you end up getting an appointment 6 months down the line, and you're like, what is happening? ZocDoc makes that easier. With ZocDoc, all you gotta do is put in what type of doctor you're trying to see, your area, your insurance information, and they immediately set you up with a list of doctors, areas, and appointments that you're able to easily funnel through to see who you want to go to and when. They have over 150,000 providers, over 200 plus different specialties across all 50 states. And you can do it from the comfort of your own phone. It's also free to use. And I know it may seem small, but just clicking the link in the description is the first step towards prioritizing your health. Taking care of your health just got easier. Head to ZocDoc.com/Bartolozzi to get started and check that appointment off your to-do list. Thank you to ZocDoc for sponsoring this video, and let's get back into it.
This is especially strange considering that every year there are horror stories from attendees that paint.
Oh, don't park, dude. But it's like they upprice, it's like any other fucking festival or convention or anything. Like in TwitchCon or, you know, the Super Bowl, or any other fucking event, they skyrocket hotel prices and shit because they know there's a high demand. So the supplies lower the high demand, they fucking hike prices. You know, and they premeditatively do that because they know Coachella's coming. But the car shit's the worst, man. People be in traffic for like 7 hours trying to fucking get their camping spot. And then they'll set up dude, the stupidest shit is like, they'll rent like 9 car spots and actually set up a tent that's the size of a house for 3 days and then take it down.
It's maybe not as bad as like Burning Man, but it still has like a taste.
I feel like Burning Man, okay, well, Burning Man, there's people that like fucking tweak on drugs and run around naked. But like, I actually feel like Burning Man would be like more of a experience. Like, when you're at Burning Man, you're like, I get why we're in the middle of the desert. You know, I understand. We're at Burning Man. I'm in the middle of nowhere. Then you're in Coachella Valley, and fish and chips at a shitty restaurant is $35, and you're like, this city sucks. The city of Coachella is ass. That place blows. I don't know why anyone would live there.
It get pretty crazy after all. When you put thousands of drug-filled concert goers and influencers like James Charles, remember that James Charles picture where his ass was out? Can you imagine being at a concert where James Charles is lurking around?
I will say it was weird. I didn't see James Charles when I went, but I was just like I was in the same vicinity as Machine Gun Kelly, fucking Liam from what? Not Liam. Is it Liam? Or is Liam the one that died? No, Liam died. Oh my God. Rip. Who was it? Not Niall. One Direction members. Louis. I was next to Louis. He's like 5'6". Saw Charlie D'Amelio. I felt like I was in a fever dream, man. I was like, what?
Spooky man. Yeah, that's what the locals say. The spooky man is spooky.
So many TikTokers. I was like, what? I saw Sam and Colby, or one of them. I don't remember which. I think it might have been Sam. And it's also like such a weird, dude, it feels like there's a paywall to everything at Coachella. Like, we had VIP tickets. So there's like general admission, all that area. It's most of the venues general admission. Then there's like VIP spots where you could get like drinks quicker and there's like better food, but it's still like $80 for fucking food. And in the VIP section, you're still standing in line for fucking 10 minutes to get a drink, 15 minutes to get a drink. They don't serve shots. They only have light drinks. And it's like canned beer for, you get a fucking Heineken for fucking $20. Anyways, vodka Red Bull, $32. But guess what? They have Aperol Spritz stands. Woo! Woo! Oh, I love the taste of grapefruit and fucking bitterness in my mouth when I'm in 100 degrees and I'm dying of dehydration. Let me drink something that makes me feel like I'm a raisin. They have an Aperol Spritz stand. Woo! How fancy. Some stupid shit like that. And then in the VIP section, they have walled sections for like parties. Like they had a YouTube party or some shit. And there's like a walled section. And then outside of that, there's other parties outside of the venue that matter more than the fucking venue itself. And they have other performances there, and you need to get invites for them. And I was like, oh, could I get invited? And my manager's like, no, you have to do a shout out for this company to get invited because they have tickets. Guess what, buddy? Whoop! Whoop! I'm not going to go to that. I'm not about to shout out your stupid fucking company so I can get a ticket to a party. 120,000 or more for a captain. Dude, I feel like 55,000 pounds is pretty low for like a seasoned pilot now. How much do American airline pilots make? Starting salaries is 100K, but they can become senior captains, earn over 450,000 a year. Yeah, so it's definitely less experienced pilots. Or at least working for less, even though pounds are worth more than dollars.
Massive orders of only Boeing 737s. By buying a single model in
pounds, that's a lot. In dollars, bro, it's like 1.2. It's not that much more.
Bulk, they can negotiate a lower average price per plane, and then streamline their whole operation further. Because by only using one kind of plane, it means they only have to buy one kind of seat, and one kind of fuel. They only have to train one kind of crew on one kind of process. These ultra-efficient strategies are why Ryanair can charge less than 30 euros for their average flight, and still clear an outrageous profit margin of around 35% sometimes, whilst most European airlines are lucky to reach 6%, and the global average was barely 2.7%.
Wait, what? So Ryanair's fucking got the method down with the cheapest method possible. They make the most. Well, they might not make the most, but they profit margin the most.
Was barely 2.7%.
Everybody looks at Ryanair and they're all looking at it. There's one secret. There's, they bought planes cheaply, or they just treat people badly, or they do. Every single line of our operation is smarter, lower cost, or more efficient than almost every other line.
Some other airlines have now copied some of these strategies after seeing how well they worked, but very few airlines take things as far as Ryanair. However, whilst these ruthless cost-cutting strategies might be brilliant in a business sense, they have made Ryanair one of the most hated airlines in the world.
But that doesn't matter. It literally does not matter. It matters if you're a luxurious brand. If you're the cheapest brand in a marketplace, in a market space rather, it does not matter how bad the customers hate you. If your prices are low enough, they'll still fly with you. Or they'll still buy from you. Like, they could despise you to a T, but if you are undercutting the competition so heavily, they just have to buy you.
And Ryanair's response to this is far from
we don't give a fuck.
Ordinary. Before we get to the next chapter, it's time to answer a question I get a lot.
This is an ad.
Michael O'Leary, Ryanair's CEO, has often made the news for some of his wild ideas about how Ryanair could cut costs even further. He said he wanted to charge passengers to use the bathroom, remove toilet.
Is that a joke? Now that's a little extreme. You're going to charge people to take a piss? Are you allowed to do that? Be like, yo, I really got to take a shit. That'll be £5. That'll be £5 now, lad. Otherwise, we have a poop bag and a curtain that you could shit in the back.
And even sell standing tickets.
Wow, what a fucking... Dude, you walk on a Ryanair, it's a C8B, but it's just like a subway handle. The whole airline, the whole flight, you're just...
Introduce a fat tax, and...
A fat tax. I know there's airlines that are starting to charge customers that don't fit in one seat, two seats for a ticket, which I understand is upsetting, but I will actually have the take that I think that makes sense. Like if you can't fit in the seat, they have to charge you for two, right? There's airlines that have like plus size seats, which also makes sense. Right, like where you're just like, okay, we're going to also, segment specific seats out for people that need them. But if they don't, it's like, I think it's rude for the individual. I understand it might be out of your control in certain regards, but like from my personal standpoint, I would be really mad if I sat in a middle seat and the person next to me was sitting in half of my seat because they didn't fit in their seat.
Tickets. He pointed out these measures would allow Ryanair to offer cheaper flights, which is ultimately what consumers.
That's the only one. That's the only one that really makes sense. Like standing tickets is crazy. Charging people to use the bathroom is nuts. Or no bathroom. I just think I don't think it's like a fat tax is weird. Saying like, we're just going to give you the same seat, but because you weigh a lot, we're going to fucking charge you more. I think it's like, okay, we're going to charge you more, but we're going to give you two seats.
Wants. And in some cases, there may be some logic to it.
It would make perfect sense to me to charge for toilet access. One, it would reduce the number of people who are bothering other passengers getting up and down going to the toilet on board a flight. And two, I think we'd have fewer passengers using the toilets, and then we'd have less people queuing around the toilets on board the aircraft.
None of these ideas have actually happened though, and Michael later said he'd often just say things they had no intention of actually doing to help generate free marketing.
And we generated huge amounts of free publicity. Why? Because we had no money for advertising, we had no money for PR. So you needed some kind of loudmouth Paddy to be out there saying outrageous things like charging for toilets.
Yeah, and it gets you out there, bro.
And we're taking out the seats in the standing room only. None of which we actually planned to do, but it generated acres and acres of free publicity.
Ryanair saved.
It's also like they know they're going to keep the same business model. So from a social media perspective, if they're getting shit on, and some dude's like, I paid £20 for this flight and it's a fucking piece of shit. And Ryanair's like, I'm so sorry you had a bad experience, sir. Would you like a free flight voucher? Like, that's going to make you hate them, even though they're helping that one person, because it's like, you're still you still have shit seats, right? You're not changing anything. You're just being like, oh, I'm sorry you felt that way. Versus them being like, go fist yourself. Don't fucking take our flight then. Now people are going to be like, okay, well.
A fortune on marketing by simply having Michael do interviews and say outlandish things to get headlines, which always led to more people checking out Ryanair's website and buying tickets. For example, when he was questioned why passengers are charged €20 just to print their boarding passes at the airport, Michael replied, well, I think they should pay €60 for being so stupid. He also said, if drink sales are falling off, we get the pilots to engineer a bit of turbulence. That usually spikes drink sales. Another way Michael helped Ryanair get free marketing was with creative promotions designed to get maximum.
They start charging for the bathroom and then they purposefully do turbulence so you have to pee more.
So one of our first best ones was we did this Valentine's Day promotion, which was 69 for 2.
However,
oh, but what if I die on the airline? Death tax. We're going to charge your family €100 to take your body off the plane.
Not everyone sees the funny side.
People reporting over 12-hour delays with limited access to bathrooms. It looks like District 9. Fucking prawns. That's how they're referring to each other, and they're all eating cat food and shit. People flooded social media ranting about how long they've been stuck, claiming that people were shitting in bushes and desperately in need of food. And according to one TikToker, a woman was even hit by a car as she attempted to stop it from cutting in front of her in line.
It takes about like an hour or two to get through. Normally, they have like these lanes, and they have someone inspect your car because they're trying to find drugs and shit.
Like it's a fucking border patrol or some shit. Like literally, yeah.
They made you take out literally everything.
Did you have to do that?
They start playing the fucking, what's that one song? Oh my god. What's that one song where it's like, da, 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 da. Papers, Please. They start fucking scanning the tires.
Mm-hmm. Because they smell a little funk.
They fucking pop your tire with like a Bowie knife. Just rip it open. Oh, my apologies.
It's just me, sir. Pull over to the side. Others posted videos of cars that were having to be pushed out of line because they were overheating and shutting down. But let's assume you get past the horrible introduction and you get into the venue, right? If you think this means you're in the clear, think again, because doing anything at Coachella is a depressingly tedious chore. Many stands are going to have you waiting as much as 40 minutes when they're busy. Perhaps you opt for a slice of pizza because it's quicker. You may end up being one of the hundreds that reportedly got food poisoning this year after eating a $25 slice of pizza from one of their most popular vendors. You're like,
bro, I remember it was like 8 or 9 p.m. on one of the days, and we walk up to the pizza place, me and Brooke. This was 2025. And they just served somebody a slice, and we walk up, they go, "We're closed. We're closed." And they actually start getting mad at everybody, and they go, "Leave. Leave. We're closed." They shut the door. I'm like, yo, you're actually an idiot. Number one, you're a bum. Number two, you still have pizzas. I see the dough. Number three, I don't care if you say you close at 9. You are literally missing out on thousands of dollars, right? Like, you're just serving dough and cheese. Like, it's cheap ass shit, and you're uppricing the fuck out of it, and people are still buying it.
that? You like being poisoned? 40 minutes, it's a long time, but it's not as long as I thought it'd be. I'm being honest. Also, if you're going to Coachella, why would you ever be like, I'm gonna go to the food stands? Why would you not just be like, I'm gonna make a bunch of sandwiches?
Because you got to party and it's quicker to
I
get.
can fucking party and still slam a bologna and cheese sandwich.
A lot of people can't cook these days.
It's bologna and cheese. It's not cooking. It's putting a slice of bologna and cheese up between 2 pieces of bread. Slap some mayonnaise on there.
Do you think I want to be seen eating a bologna sandwich at Coachella?
I would love to be seen eating a bologna and cheese. People would be like, how many of these did you be? Keep pulling them out.
To be fair, I don't think you could bring food in once you're inside, because you can't bring anything in, like even drinks. They make you pour your drink out.
They won't let you bring a cooler of sandwiches in? So you're saying that you'd have to go buy the stuff and then make it at your deal?
You're back at your camp. And the walk to your camp, they call it like the walk of shame at the end of the night, because everybody's so tired and fucked up. But it could take you like 40 minutes to walk to your car.
Yes. Yes. And try an hour. Try you leave Coachella at 11:30. You're going to get back to your hotel at 2. And your hotel's 3 miles away. But half the roads are closed.
If I was like 19, I could see myself being, because also you're like, what else am I going to do? It was magical. Bro, when you're in your 40s, everything is hell. Everything. That's why I'm so glad I listen to metal, because it's such a, like, they're always intimate shows. Get in, get out, have a couple drinks, and you're on your way. You know what I mean? I was looking at like a Kanye concert or like a fucking Travis Scott concert. Fuck that. Oh my God. Going to a Post Malone show. Oh my God. Oh, fuck. If you need to rush to the bathroom and you don't have a bucket set up in your camp, prepare to wait another 30 to 60 minutes in line before you're being able to shit your brains out in a public bathroom into a porta-john.
Yo, if I had to take my morning shit and I saw this line, I'm spraying chunks all over the walls and the trees. Like, I'm not physically capable of holding a morning shit past maybe 20 minutes.
Shit your brains out.
Like, I'm waking up and it's like, I need a poop.
Out in a public bathroom.
Immediately.
To a porta-john, which also I will say, I'm going to Hunter's tip. Hunter's tip. Go to a porta-john on the hottest day and take a shit.
Yeah.
It's a surreal experience. You'll never feel as gross yet relieved in your entire life. I can't explain it.
I have a nick.
No, it's not relieved, man. It's bad. It's like, have you ever cut a shit off early and then you just feel really gross? Like, you have, say, 100% of poop and you get 60% of your poop out, and you know there's 40% more, but you have to be somewhere. So you're wiping, and you're kind of like wiping the tip of a turd that's about to fall out of your ass, but you're like pinching it back in your body. And then you like get up and you're like, you get off the toilet and you got to walk out of the stall and you're like, and then it like finally subsides, like maybe 30 minutes later.
Tip. If you're ever at Coachella.
I don't know why, but already I'm like, I don't think I like that.
If you're at Coachella and you're too impatient to wait in the water line because it looks long, and you want to go to the hand washing station, don't do it, because the water there is recycled water.
You did it, didn't you? Did you just shitting your brains out?
No, luckily I didn't shit my brains out, but the fucked up thing is like I filled up everybody's water bottle. I had everybody's water bottle, a huge line, and then I saw people like filling up at the wash station. So I was like, oh, that's the hack. The next time I did it, some guy's like, hey, you really do not want to do that. It's like recycled water. Oh. And then I looked at the water, there's like all these particles in it. Oh. And I looked at her like, we do not tell people.
Basically, Coachella is filled with Disney-sized lines for every little thing. If you think waiting this long is simply unfeasible, you wouldn't be the first. Some poor souls will return to their tents only to find
someone pooped in my tent. I have a campsite that's along the long way to go in and out of the festival. I came back tonight, somebody shit in my tent.
Someone got impatient.
That's so funny, though.
With the lines and shit in their living quarters. And this isn't uncommon. And some people believe it could be the work of a serial Coachella shitter. The online Coachella groups have all sorts of angry rants from the attendees who are fed up with the surprise logs. Like a woman.
Okay, it's fucked up, but also kind of funny to imagine somebody like taking a shit onto a paper towel and then just like throwing their logs in just random people's tents.
Who crashed out after finding
on the floor, there's just a fat turd.
Out that there was a full-size shit in the woman.
Who the fuck keeps defecating in the women's showers? I've heard the same security. One rule, ladies, don't poop in the showers. She said if she kept going to the company, you would not go back next year. Literally poop before you go shower, not during. I don't know. If the bathroom line's that long, I might try and shit in the shower and waffle stomp it down the drain.
Shower 2 days in a row.
Not a bad play.
Shower.
Do you think that that's a woman doing that, or do you think it's a man sneaking in?
I think it's a woman. I think it's a woman who's like, she's above pooping in a porta potty.
I don't.
Period shits.
I think it's that. I just
period shits. Hey, chat. I've heard how bad they could be. If you're at Coachella, it's hot as fuck. You're a woman on your period. The bathroom line is long as fuck. And you have to poop. I'm not even judging if you shit in the shower. Just push it down the drain, though.
I think bitches are gross. I lived on a co-ed dorm floor. Well, to be fair, it was a liberal arts school. Oh my God. The men on the floor literally had to have a floor meeting because they're like, what are you doing in these showers and bathrooms? Just all kinds of things. We're like, what the fuck? Where is your fucking brain? Like, what is it going on? I'm not going to go into the details of it because it's disgusting. I thought it was going to be the other way around because I'm like, man, the girls are going to complain that like the guys are smelly and all that. You would think, you know, I thought wrong.
I had to clean women's restrooms, and these are high school students, but God, they're fucking... Don't do that. Don't fucking do that.
The grossest thing that you don't understand until, like, I never experienced this until having a girlfriend. Hair everywhere. Oh my God. Shower drain hair. Yo. Because my hair's so short, it goes down the drain. Women's hair, like women with long hair, even guys with long hair, but like women just...
Square root it. You'll get 1.414213562375 ... right? Now I want you guys to do me a favor. Cube it. X to the 3. It'll see 2.8284271 21746190. I want you guys to do me a favor. Divide it by 2. Get that number, cube it again, and I want you to do that until the end of your lives. And that number will still come up with 2.8284271 21746190. This is what we call a loop. It doesn't make sense, and it does not make math.
Because you're doing the same fucking math problem over and over again. What the fuck do you mean it doesn't make sense? You're fucking changing that. You're doing the same thing with the same number multiple times. 2 plus 2 divided by 2 is 4. Or wait, no. 2 plus 2 divided by 2 is 2. If I do it again, 2 plus 2, add 2 divided by 2, it's 2. If I add 2 divided by 2, it's 2. It's the same shit over and over and over again because you're doing the same fucking thing. It doesn't make sense. It makes perfect sense. That proves that math is normal because you're actually showing that the results stay the same.
Actually pissing me off, but this is so goddamn easy to understand. Okay, so the problem he's doing is the square root of 2 times the square root of 2 times the square root of 2. Right away, if we multiply the root 2 times the root 2, we're just gonna get 2, and then we have a root 2 left over. So the answer is 2 root 2. Now, Terrence is saying that, oh, if you divide by 2, you just get root 2. How did we multiply something 3 times when we divide by 2, we get the same result? The shit we just multiplied to get here is 2. So if we divide by the same fucking number that got us here, we're gonna get back to where we started. There's no contradiction because we're not multiplying by 2 each time. It's not like 2 cubed is equal to 2 times 2. We're multiplying by root 2. This is literally the equivalent of you going on Google, Googling Google, going on Google, and then Googling Google. This is not some matrix breaking loop. You're just a dumbass going in a circle. Terrence has been doing this shit for years now. Nothing has changed about that. But
why are you able to Google? I understand being able to yo, chat, I really want to start saying just Bing it instead of let me Google it. I want to start that up. Can we start that, chat? When you want to look up something, just say I'm going to Bing it. Anyways, but like I understand being able to Google, or I understand being able to Bing Google or Google Bing, right? But why am I able to Google a search engine that I'm already on? That's just why is that even? I feel like it should be like error. This is stupid. Why are you Googling Google?
The difference today is that he's found a new community of idiots who believe in what he's saying because of him going on these influential podcasts. When this dude goes on Joe Rogan to spew the same exact debunk...
Oh, let me Bing that. See, that's what I just gotta start saying that. Let me Bing it.
What he's saying because of him going on these influential podcasts. When this dude goes on Joe Rogan to spew the same exact debunked math, Joe just eats it up with no hesitation.
Pull out your calculator, and I want you to enter the square root of 2 in there.
Bro, what the fuck is his point, though? That math is wrong? Or that we're, like, living in some simulation paradox that he's found the key to? Like, what is him and Joe Rogan's podcasts are, like, 3 hours long. What the fuck are they talking about a calculator problem for that long?
And quantum physics equation has that square root of 2 in there. We've been living in this lie, this fostered lie.
Oh my God, he has a t-shirt that says square root of 2.
For so long. Because
and what's the solution to that? One of the most interesting conversations I've ever had with the great and powerful Terrence Howard. It's a wild one, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of mixed reviews. But as crazy as some of the things this man is saying are, he's clearly brilliant. And if he's right, it's going to change the world.
I mean, it's true. If you want...
It's going to change the world how? Like, even if he was right, what's next? Like, he's just like, dude, shit's crazy. Square root of 2. How is it square root of 2 still?
To see brilliance, just take a look in the comment section. You'll find just the pinnacle of human intelligence.
The fact that he had the fortitude to challenge math at the highest level, even if he's wrong, still gives him credibility. I just like people that berate him for having the guts to speak up and articulate his viewpoint.
I don't understand this logic at all. First of all, he's not challenging math at the highest level. This is like first grade fucking math that he doesn't understand. And second,
it's like algebra 1, algebra 2.
Just because you challenge something that is already concluded doesn't mean you're doing so with any expertise. You can just be a fucking idiot. You would think that people would see through it, but unfortunately, being a confident, uninformed dumbass actually has a persuasive psychological effect on less knowledgeable people known as the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's basically where people who are less knowledgeable about something tend to overestimate how much they actually know, and that lack of knowledge then drives their confidence about that.
Well, it's the Dunning-Kruger effect, but that's also why, like, early philosophers would say, I know that I know nothing. Like, being smart is the recognition that you are stupid, because stupid people think they're smart, but smart people know they're stupid.
And that same confidence is capable of convincing those who are just as, if not more, ignorant as them. Modern podcasts are the embodiment of this.
MMA vaccine is absolutely connected to a host of serious, debilitating fucking problems that kids have gotten from them.
Let me ask you a question, Mr. Joe Rogan, Mr. Scientist. Are you saying that we shouldn't
do that. Don't call me Mr. Scientist. I'll start mocking you, and it's so much easier to mock you.
5 minutes later.
This is a long conversation that we're not going to have on this podcast because I'm going to get angry because I've researched this for years.
But you're not a scientist.
I don't have to be a scientist to know that.
Yes, you do.
No, Brian, shut the fuck up.
It's dudes sitting behind a microphone talking with confidence for hours about shit they know nothing about behind big budget sets. To the average person, something about the presentation will likely captivate them even if there's no substance behind what's being said.
Yeah, because, dude, it would be a hell of a lot different if they were sitting in, like, a bum-ass living room on, like, a broken couch spewing opinions about how, like, Tylenol gives you autism and being circumcised makes you autistic. Like, if they were saying that in a shitty area, they'd be like, this guy's kind of stupid. But the second you have, like, a nice set, nice lighting, they're like, this guy has some credibility.
It's a voluntary fucking lobotomy disguised as education.
Robert F. Kennedy did say that.
That Joe Rogan clip is a rare example of someone...
It does? Oh, being circumcised gives you autism?
Actually pushing back against the garbage being spewed on podcasts. In this case, the biggest
increases your chance
podcast in the world. But most of the time, people who go on these shows are able to lie endlessly with no pushback whatsoever.
You know, if you take a banana and you mix it with a blueberry in a smoothie, it voids the nutrients of that
No
blueberry.
way.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Theoretically, you know, if the Earth were round and you were to fly literally straight across, pointing the nose down to stay with the curvature, then you would just fly into outer space and land somewhere else.
What's the problem with microwaves? Microwaves, it basically bastardizes all the nutrients in the food, so you're just eating matter. So if you want to fill your stomach, you might as well just drink water. Wow, so it cooks out all the vitamins and minerals.
Like, what is this fuck-ass opinion, bro? What? The microwaves are just heating up your food. What do you mean it's cooking out the nutrients?
So if you want to fill your stomach, you might as well just drink water. Wow, so it cooks out all the vitamins and minerals. I believe so. Wow.
Top 3 educational podcasts, by the way. I was able to find so many of these insanely brain-dead takes from just this one podcast alone. The show has absolutely zero criteria for who gets on, and the host seems about as dim as the guest. And look, I'm not someone who believes that there aren't good or entertaining elements to any of these podcasts, or that they have to be 100% factual, or that the host has to be a hall monitor to every guest. But you have to understand that some of the people that go on these largely influential podcasts are either grifters or straight up insane and using these platforms to promote their nonsense because they know they'll be able to do so unchallenged. And you might—
Bro, like, why did Netanyahu go on the Full Send podcast? That makes, like, that just seems like a fucking weird last-ditch effort to get, like, the American youth on his side. Like, why is Netanyahu's going on the Full Send podcast with the— men really have longer hair than men. Oh my God. Disgusting. Like clumped hairballs that you're like pulling out of the drain.
Others report that there are things that have been found with piss all over them, leaving people to lock not only their tents, but their coolers when left unattended, which you should do anyways. Why, like, it would drive me insane thinking that I went back and
One of Brooke's friends stayed at my place. Like, it was like they were all hanging out. They stayed at my place. And she made a joke. She was like, by the way, I shed. I was like, okay. I swear to God, for 3 weeks after that, her hair was everywhere in my apartment. Everywhere. 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 I was like, how many hairs do you shed in a day? Like, I was like, like long black hairs. I was like, who? Like, it's been weeks, and I'm still finding them.
I took a drink from a water bottle.
She told you, though? She told me I wasn't upset, right? Like, I'm not mad, but I was just like, I was surprised. I was like, wow, I didn't know people lose that many hairs in a day.
And thinking that someone had touched, like, drank from it as well. That fucked me up.
If
you
you
know what I
lived
mean?
in a high-trust society, you wouldn't have to.
Well, I don't. We don't. Not with the Shadow Man lurking around. When you have a good spot for headlining event, it truly is difficult for some to decide if it's better to find a bathroom or soil themselves. A woman and her friend, for example, witnessed a man fill his pants with piss while waiting to see Doja Cat. I can't stop and look.
Wait, what?
A woman and her friend, for example, witnessed a man
while waiting for Doja, the guy next to us pissed himself instead of going to the porta
fill his pants with piss while waiting to see Doja Cat.
I think I'd try to pull a tactical ground piss. Dick to the side, underwear up, baggy pants, accurately pee maybe 2 inches from the leg onto the floor. That's probably the method, right? You get a little on your legs.
Stop and look the other way. Just pissing yourself. After you've taken care of all your base needs, you can finally go up and enjoy the amazing lineup that day. But not everyone gets to return to their lovely, detailed, aesthetic campsite. This year, people returned to the campground exhausted after getting obliterated on various substances, found their tents completely destroyed by aggressive desert winds. It got so bad that the National Weather Service issued a dust advisory, urging people to stay inside at all costs to avoid the low air quality and dust from doing damage to their eyes, throat, and lungs. Keep in mind, this was going on during headliner event times and even led to big performances canceling their acts.
Yo, and you're fucked up and you're watching like Sabrina Carpenter perform and you're just feeling the wind and in the back of your head you're going, I'm going to go back to a plot of land. There's going to be nothing. You're trying to enjoy yourself. Light me espresso. And you're like, fuck. You're just thinking about that the whole time.
And the harsh reality is that Coachella is simply not as glamorous as you'd think, especially if you've had no experience with festivals and how gross they can get. How can you blame people for being
You're sleeping on the dirt tonight. I'm gonna be stealing somebody else's tent.
surprised by this realization when every aspect of social media is telling them that Coachella is the perfect Oasis getaway? Also, to me, it's similar to fucking Paris syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
Japanese people go into Paris and they kill themselves because they're like, this is disgusting. France is disgusting. Who would have thought French people are gross? One of the most widely discussed topics in regards to Coachella is the hordes of influencers that are funneled into the venue every year. At one point, began referring to it as the Influencer Olympics, where big brands would invite notable social media creators to create promotional and sponsored content. Across the internet, you'll find thousands of sponsored videos where people have been flown out for free and have all expenses paid in order to shill whatever brand is looking for a marketing opportunity. For those that can't find a way to get in for free, they've even started filming PowerPoints where they basically tell brands why they're a notable person and they should cover the entire weekend for them, of course, just for marketing purposes. And while many influencers likely do want to attend these events for the artist, there are also cases of influencers traveling to Coachella Valley only to take photos for social media without actually attending the festival itself. The goal is simply to convince people that you experienced it, right? I don't really give a fuck if I actually do. I just need people to basically be like, oh my God, I'm so jealous. Oh, I wish I was living your life. Please, James.
Bro, or it's like the same shit. It'll be like motherfuckers go to Coachella, they go to the Empire Club and parties that are outside of Coachella, but only show up for maybe like 2 performances a day. So they're buying Coachella tickets, and Coachella's open to like 11 a.m., like 1 p.m. to like midnight, 1 a.m. Like 12 hours every day. They only show up for 2, and then they go to the parties after. Like Joe? No, I mean, at TwitchCon, I would go, like, TwitchCon, I only go to the convention for 2 hours, but I also think TwitchCon is, like, a shill for companies, and, like, if you're at TwitchCon, I think you absorb the TwitchCon experience in, like, 2 hours. At Coachella, though, I would go every day. I'd go every day, like, maybe I wouldn't show up at, like, 1, but I'd show up at, like, 2.
People began pushing the sentiment that Coachella is no longer a music festival for the masses, as it's becoming increasingly difficult to justify spending this much money. The larger reliance on influencers rather than genuine music lovers also puts a bad taste in people's mouths, right? Every year, this topic is relitigated. Those who have been going for years note that the event has always been half about the music and half about the scene. To them, these are just tired takes from older people who want to pretend everything was better in the past. And at the end of the day, you're in a venue with over 100,000 people, you're likely not going to be seeing the most influencers that attend anyways. Feels like a weird elitism in a way, like they're the real fans, but there's tons of obnoxious shit that past years didn't have. I think it's trickle-down cringe is what they feel, because they're like, these celebrities or these influencers going and they're posting about it, and now I'm going and I feel like the cringe I feel from seeing these posts, I'm a part of it. I think it's trickle-down cringe.
It's also rose-tinted goggles.
Of course. Many do note that due to the wider appeal of Coachella, the crowds in many cases were lacking the same bombastic energy from years prior. Artists like Damian Albarn, lead singer for Blur and the Gorillaz, chastised the audience in 2024 for the same reason. He was upset that nobody was singing along or getting excited for any part of their 13-song set.
I think what you do need to understand, though, and it's not like, I'm more so saying this from the perspective of somebody that hasn't gone to many concerts. Like, I've gone to if you pull up to like a Gorillaz concert, you're going to be hype. You're going to be singing the songs, you're going to be dancing, you're going to be jumping around doing all the shit. Because, like, this is the first person you see. This guy's performing at 10 p.m. Everybody in the crowd's been here since 1, walking in the desert heat for 9 hours. Dehydrated, legs jello. Yeah, some of them are hyping on drugs, but, like, everybody else is kind of, like, sweating out all the alcohol they fucking drank. It's just, like, they're kind of just there to experience it, and it's, like, they're trying not to crash. Somewhat. I think some people are just lame, though. Okay, well, this just sounds like shit now. I think that might be why they're not hype.
I don't know, dude, you're in the fucking Gorillaz. Get over it. Near the end of the set, he got frustrated and said,
"You'll never see us again, so you might as well fucking sing me."
It's pretty sad. Everyone just...
The good news is...
Bro, I would be, like, nervous, man. I feel like after taking this would feel like the fear I had, like, the first time I've, like, tripped. Like, you're just like, oh, fuck, what's gonna happen?
We finally got it ingested. The bad news is I have to go meet my friends now.
What? He had to go out to, bro, you're going to a bar after you just took a rhino pill? The equivalent of, you just took a wolf pill, you're gonna leave your house? Nah, that's insane.
Has ever chugged a bottle of NyQuil?
Oh my god, is he doing stand-up?
Posted a video of it the other day and someone messaged me and said, mentally challenged.
Oh.
I said back.
Alright, but this bit would be really funny if he was just like, you know, just rocking a stiff. He's like, he goes and does the worst bit ever. Yeah, tough crowd. Does the worst bit ever after the rhino pill.
Challenge accepted.
Oh my god, nobody's laughing.
That was not fun at all. You know what this...
You didn't have to do that. What is that a part of the experiment? You just made yourself go do stand-up.
second worst feeling in the world is? Standing on stage and having a crowd of people laugh at you. You know what the worst feeling in the world is? Standing on stage and having no one laugh at you. Oh my gosh. I didn't even get to talk to my friends. Hardly any of them were there. I kept asking people if they wanted to try my sketchy Chinese pill, and they all...
Oh my god, this guy at a bar walks up to me and is like, you wanna eat this? See, now that'd be kind of scary. This dude just pulls up to you at a dive bar on like a fucking Thursday. He's like, you want to take this fucking wolf pill with me? I just popped one 30 minutes ago. No, I think I'll pass.
Said no. They looked at me like I was crazy. Like, I just want a friend to try funny pills with, and none of them would do it. They were just like, oh, that's weird. I asked one guy, and then I asked the second guy, and then the first guy saw me asking the second guy, and he's like, did he just ask you? And he's like, yeah. He's like, you gotta stop doing that. It's weird. I was like, oh my God.
He's just walking to every guy at the bar being like, you want to take this wolf pill? Yo, there's no way. And then everybody at the bar knows who he is.
Oh, stop. Like, a guy can't have hobbies? Like, what the heck? Then I got on stage and it just wasn't funny at all. And the pill didn't do anything. I don't even care enough to take my blood pressure. I mean, I will here.
It didn't do anything?
Just for scientific purposes, but it did absolutely nothing. I'm just really grumpy and upset because I just wasted a whole evening. Wasted a whole day, really.
Give it another 45 minutes. It's gonna invigorate your yang soon.
Expecting so much out of this pill. I was
gonna activate your chi.
I wasn't even hungry. I couldn't even eat good food when I was there. Like, literally nothing interesting happened at all. Stupid pill. Getting everybody's hopes up. 130 over 79, 106 heart
It dropped his blood pressure.
rate. Yeah, it was a dud. It was a scam. I got scammed out of $20, man. Oh my gosh. Like, what's wrong with the world, dude? Like, a guy can't even have fun anymore. Well, hopefully the next one's more.
Why is he so bummed out? He really wanted that pill to work. Bro, what was the ideal high that you would have had from that? You wouldn't even have felt anything. It would have just made you hard. Like, what?
More fun. This one, major thumbs down.
Major thumbs down. What else is this guy taking? Oh my God. Exploring the world of animal medications? Is he just taking pills he's finding at Tractor Supply? This is insane. Best antidepressant according to a licensed pharmacist. I mean, that's like an informative video. The Chinese pain pill. Oh, I've clicked on this one. Pharmacist tries 2 honey packs. This was the result. I feel like I remember seeing this. Takes gas station pills, freaks out, then calls the courthouse. Yo.
What the
No.
heck
that's not the whole pill, right?
is this? My goodness, I've never seen something more comical before in my life. I don't even know what this is supposed to be used for, but lots of people have been recommending it to me. I'm Grant Harding. I'm a licensed pharmacist in 3 states, and I'm a drug pricing expert.
Ooh, just added the 4th.
And I wanted to review different medications I find so that you guys can make better, more informed decisions. Rhino.
Twin pack. Extreme 9. I visited the Mole People Underground. They live with no sun. This is about, I think, the homeless population that's kind of like made their own city under Las Vegas.
Underneath Las Vegas, there is approximately 200 miles of tunnel network. These tunnels have become a secret world for the so-called mole people.
I don't understand how they have full setups in the... what are these called? Like water channels? I don't understand how they set up furniture and technology and shit down there, because whenever it rains, it floods so bad that some of them die. It never rains. No, look up videos. Bro, what is the name? It's the Las Vegas tunnels flooding. And it gets so bad that it's like waves of water. Las Vegas tunnels flooding. Like, this is it starting. And all of that water is going to go into the ducts. So that's why it's so dangerous for them to live down there, because it wasn't meant for homeless people. It's meant for like water escape travel, because it's such a dry area that when like an inch of rain occurs, it's like a tsunami.
It hasn't come out and seen the light of day in a long time. I don't know if I want to meet them. They might not be civil. These tunnels are 7 floors down.
We have any flashlights?
Hey. People turn gray down here. There are people out there that haven't seen the light of day and never will.
The city dazzles with luxury hotels, casinos, and endless entertainment. Millions of people visit.
Wow, they literally never come out? How many people live under Las Vegas? Do you think they have a stat on that? How many people live in the tunnels of Las Vegas? I would guess like a few thousand. 1,200 to 1,500 people live in the storm drain tunnels beneath Las Vegas. Some estimate the numbers even higher. Wow. So that's like a small city.
Las Vegas.
Under Las Vegas.
Every year, but many don't know what exists just below this desert paradise. The endless darkness has slowly...
Oh, you're on crack. You think I'm walking in that tunnel, pitch black? Would I pay some random guy that's going to give me a tour? Yeah, man, I'll show you the tunnels.
The way people think and behave.
I got shot in the head with a gun.
Somebody died right where we were standing last night.
Some of them were even born into this dark world. These people have no idea.
Oh no, there's like babies in there.
And they hide in these tunnels to stay away from the law.
The police radios and stuff would not work down here.
So what you're looking at is a map of the tunnels in Las Vegas. There's about 1,500 people that live in that system.
The tunnels have their own names, like neighborhoods, right?
Yeah.
Nobody on the street level knows what is going on.
Do you think the majority of the people that live in the tunnels under Vegas are people that went broke from gambling? Like, how did they even end up? Because it makes a lot of sense when there's, like, homeless people in Cali or certain big cities because it's, like, warm or there's just an influx of people. But, like, Vegas is in the middle of nowhere, right? Like, you don't become homeless and then go to Vegas. Like, there's a lot of people that become homeless and then move to California. Not move, but, like, start walking there or going there. Drugs, yeah, because there's also, it is a big fucking like gambling / illegal activity hub, I guess. Relocated for a job.
Deep into the tunnels, which are connected to many other tunnels. Let's descend into darkness, where these tunnel people have built their lives.
This is the Narcan, the nasal spray. So if you see somebody overdosing, you can hit them with this. It'll bring them back. You get 30 minutes. You still have to call an ambulance. Super easy. Pop it out right in the nose.
We can't just walk in unless we're with Rob, who survived 5 years down here. The entrance is blocked with metal bars to stop people.
Why can't they go down without Rob? Because they would get like attacked. Like they know Rob. Like Rob's their in. He's like the middleman connection guy. So he used to live down here, and now Rob's out, like he's not homeless anymore.
From entering, and to keep trash out during floods.
What is the worst thing that happened to you in tunnels?
Probably the flood that we had a few years ago when I lost 2 of my best friends.
The ground is...
Bro, see? It random flood, 2 of his friends died, and that's only the people that he knows. 1,500 people fucking live down here. People just drowning.
Las Vegas is extremely hard, so rainwater can't soak into the soil the way it normally would. To prevent flooding on the streets,
See, that's the type of video I was looking for.
these tunnels were
Holy shit. Dude, literally thousands of gallons of water and you're like asleep. It's pitch black down there. You're fucking sleeping. You hear like water rushing. You don't even have time to run.
built to direct water under the city. So when it rains, the water rushes straight into the tunnels where people are living. Even on a sunny day in the city, a rainstorm 15 miles away in the mountains can send a flood rushing down these tunnels in minutes. Every time this sudden disaster hits, people in this massive underground city lose their lives to drowning.
A lot of trash here.
We ran into Nate first. He warned us not to enter the tunnel.
Why do people go so far into the tunnel then? Like, why not hover because it's more safe, I guess, from like other people or other people that are living in the tunnel? Because like, wouldn't you want to just live right on the outskirts of the tunnel so then you could get out?
I stay away from the deep parts of the tunnel.
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, this guy only hovers at the front.
What's the reason for that?
Just because the unknown. I don't know what's down there. It gets smaller and smaller as you get to.
Okay, the curiosity would kill me though. Like wanting to know what's in there and what like people have kind of like brought miles into these tunnels. Like full setups. They got a couch, TVs.
You get to where you got to crawl.
Was that a fucking engine?
Crawl. From what I know, these tunnels are 7 floors down.
Dead bodies? You think there's dead bodies in there? Because nobody's going in there to clean it up. So if somebody dies, they're just in there. Because they're not sending like firemen or people down here to come fucking collect.
Imagine. There's rooms off in these tunnels, service rooms that anybody could be in there, you know. You'd be kidnapped, killed, hostage, burnt alive, it don't matter.
Whatever danger hides deep in the tunnels, Toby has faced it.
I'm back here in the dark, you know what I mean? Dark, dark.
What is the worst thing that happened to you down in these tunnels?
I got attacked one time, like 3 Cuban dudes. One of the guys came in my spot with the damn machete. He was one of the top dog dudes. But I handled my own, so I had a basket and I took it in there, threw it on its side, stuck poles in it, made one of them little Maltese cocktails. It's the only thing that saved me.
Anyone home, guys?
So he got into a fucking death fight in the middle of the tunnels when it was pitch black. Because 3 guys tried to like press him for his spot.
Territory.
Skinny Pete.
Anybody home?
Is that guy's name?
Do we have any flashlights? I'll check and see if I got one in my bag.
See, that would scare the shit out of me. I would never go down here. I would want to see what's down here, but like you're just walking, it's pitch black, you shine. Yeah, that's from Breaking Bad. That's one of the dealers, right? You're fucking walking, it's pitch black, you shine your flashlight, and there's just a person stoically staring off into the distance, just. And they don't even, like, they see your light, they don't even fucking look at you. Oh my god.
Do we have any flashlights?
That's so scary.
The woman, possibly under the influence of the substance, asked for Narcan.
If you actually know how to navigate, you can make it all the way underground in the tunnels without ever coming up to the surface. It can be done if you know the tunnel system well enough.
That is a fucking PC. How did they get that? And why is it a mile into the fucking tunnel? That is a disassembled PC. I don't even think the CPU's still on it. The GPU's missing.
So they're all basically connected.
Eventually they are passageways.
For the most part.
Of course, the RAM's gone. Yeah, the RAM prices are crazy right now.
This labyrinth may not look like a home to you, but stepping into their spots without warning could get us into serious trouble. Some of them are armed.